Hello, we're Legends on Paper, an eclectic group of longtime gamers with a passion for Dungeons & Dragons. We're not voice actors, professional gamers, or paid performers. We're regular people, just like you, except that we'll probably make complete fools of ourselves along the way as we attempt to have fun and entertain. If you enjoyed tonight's production, please follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our channels on Twitch and YouTube. And most importantly, don't forget to tell all your friends. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey as Legends on Paper presents the greatest adventure.
Dear Neve, yesterday was the longest day. We are camped outside of Lion's Gate at the moment, just off the main road to Yorwick, but the sun is starting to rise, so I'm sure we will head out soon. A contingent of temple knights and their entourage just passed us, seemingly in a hurry, so I presume there is something big happening ahead. Right, I already told you how I got narrowly defeated by the Atlantean in the tourneys. How we met a character called the Fat Man, who convinced us to find blood belonging to the king that never was, and how Queen Penelope of Lioness was abducted by Beelzebub's minions. After talking to the prince, the five of us then decided to leave the city and head to the Dormonts to tackle the Fat Man's task. As we passed through the gates of the city, I looked back. The city that had welcomed us not so long ago in this time of unity and celebration had turned into a place of chaos and disorder. Everywhere the crimson flags carrying the crest of a lion still fluttered, but the motion seemed desperate and no longer joyful. The tourneys are officially closed. On the outskirts of the city, where temporary tents had been set up to cater for the influx of visitors to Lion's Gate, we tried to get a few supplies. Many traders were packing up, though, with a sense of urgency, so we did not get much, but we did get horses. Francisco Portfolio, the man who sold us ponies, as Hildy refers to them, was particularly memorable. He calls himself the most beautiful man in the world, and he may be right. A knight in his arms, and I might forget my name and my mission, but he is married to the previous pirate king's daughter, and is a wanted man in Tartessos because of it. He called us strange company, and I agree with him. Nihilus seems sensible and immensely capable, and he is a fellow of yours too. I confronted him about his reaction to my taking his healing crystal, and he apologized. So I take back my thought that I should have left him for dead. It was not very gracious or Sylvan of me. He said he did not like his privacy invaded, and I will respect that. Styx is intriguing, but I keep losing sight of him. There is a sense of desperation about him and a lot of nervous energy, like something is driving his every action. He shared that Cudgel, the name the Fat Man had mentioned, was after him. Maybe this group can help protect him. In his conversation with Hildy earlier, on which I eavesdropped, he asked if she knew what HMM stood for. She didn't, but now I'm curious too. Hildy is strange for sure, but definitely not the strangest among us. She seems frail at a glance, but she has not slowed us down, has mad negotiation skills that got her 55 gold healing potion for 15 gold, and she seems to be pretty insightful. I have met Twath the day before, and they always seem mysterious. Hopefully I will have the chance to find out more about them on this journey. That leaves Jolo. I am a little at a loss here. He did prove useful in getting us out of the city with his stench and getting the price of our horses down. But I cannot seem to get the image of him bathing and singing in a horse's trough out of my head. Also, his pants are too tight. Then there is me. I know I'm not what people expect of a Sylvan or a paladin, but 50 years of training has tried every ounce of my patience, and I find I'm uncharacteristically eager to fulfill my mission by any means necessary, even if that includes going against my Sylvan values. I still want to be a paladin, but I cannot swear the oath that my father took or that Vanadin was planning to take. I cannot protect and defend the Sylvan Forest when there is an injustice that has gone unpunished. Please bless us, Neve, and keep us safe. And thank you for the new magic I sense. I will put it to good use. Amen.
All right, so you wake up in the morning, refreshed, renewed, strengthened for a new day. And as Nihilus predicted, it is a beautiful day. You can see the sun coming up, the birds chirping, you can hear the ripple and movement of the water in the stream below the hill where you're camped. You can hear in the distance the camps that you saw during the night that you know are there, the voices of many others far and nearer, preparing for the day as well, as everyone's getting an early start to head out on the highway, traveling north and to other destinations, presumably. And as we get started, you're now level 2, bolstered by your new hit points, your new whatever new abilities that you may have. The experience that you've gained over the past day, literally, previous day, has been extraordinary. Much more than even legendary figures of this time have had to deal with within such a short period of time. And as you look out onto this beautiful new day, knowing that what's ahead of you is going to be quite a challenge, no matter how you look at it, given the players that are involved and the things that have happened up until now, what are you going to do?
Ooh, it's chilly. Sticks, can I have that blanket?
1 gold.
Joel, I'll pay the man.
You're gonna throw in some soap?
Hildy's got my soap.
I do have the soap.
I'll tell you what, I'll trade you his cape for
This
this.
is not good.
I don't want the soap. Okay, no. We're good. Let's just get going. Need to get this out of my mind. Are there other people on the road, perhaps? Do I see others traveling still?
You hear people preparing to travel. You don't see anybody on the road at this point. Again, it's just past daybreak, and Suna is just crested the horizon. You can hear others preparing to depart, but you don't see anybody coming up the road at this point.
I say we get ahead of the traffic, assuming your fat horse can keep up.
She'll do fine, dear.
Okay.
Objections?
Let's go. Nihilus, as a point of reference, I guess, he would have spent the night kind of a little bit set away from the rest of the group, kind of on his own, contemplating, and in the morning, in the wee hours when he first woke up, maybe before the others started stirring, he would have gone down to the creek, river, stream, whatever it was, and not as in the spell, but he would have kind of communed with Neve and just taken some moments to himself to kind of reflect and get his bearings for the day, and then he'd come back and, as people were stirring, make some breakfast, and then join the rest of the group.
Okay, so more possum. Possum for the road.
Would I assume that you left the group because you were upset that my followers were all there last night and you didn't have any followers?
So I think,
Well, not the first
during the
one.
long rest, Jolo had heard someone say his name in the distance.
Well, no, you were
then he
sleeping.
told-
What I told you was that there were actually many saying my name. Crowds.
And he told Nim and Nihilus, and Nihilus would have just passed it off and not even really taken a second thought to it. He hasn't been terribly impressed with Jolo thus far, so he wouldn't have asked any further about that, and I don't think that he and Nim had heard anything in particular on their rest, so he just assumed it was another peaceful night with nothing going on.
So the key takeaway here, I'm a leader of men and women too, but I'm always careful not to upset people. So I'm just going to be extra nice to you today, because I feel a little bit bad.
This is a new day, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all got our experience points from watching you bath and sing that.
It was an experience, wasn't it?
It was something.
Something we'll never forget.
I don't use the term metaphor loosely, or maybe I do, I don't know. This was a christening, in effect. A baptism by water. Because I came out with a new name, a new color. I feel good things are coming out ahead for Jello the Pink and his people and his followers. Maybe that's what we should call ourselves. The followers of Jolo.
Pink.
Everyone needs a group name.
We were about to leave, right?
Okay, just think about that.
Let's go.
This is not an ego thing. The followers of Jolo, that's not even mentioning me. That's only mentioning you guys. Anyway, just throwing it out there. Let's go.
Jello's literally talking louder and louder until he's yelling as the rest of you are pulling away on your horses.
I'm perfectly sane.
And then he gets further and further behind, realizes that you'll have to mount his horse quickly to catch up. As you move along the road, it's not long before you do start passing some of the camps that you had heard during the night and this morning. Some are more efficient and in a hurry than others to get underway. Many of these folks had left before you and may or may not be aware of the message that was sent out from the crown the night before with the criers telling everybody to relax and that the danger was no longer imminent, whatever it might have been. So although they seem, the ones you pass certainly seem to be far more removed from the situation now, there's a little bit of an urgency and they kind of look up nervously as you pass until before long they too and others are on the road. And you're not in so much of a huge crowd of people as you are in definitely around others that are moving in the same direction before you and behind you. So you're in company. How would you like to travel today, and what would you like to do?
Nihilus would take the lead on his horse. He's been up and down this road before and kind of knows where they're headed, so he can ride in front.
Okay. I'm going to put a map on the board. Let's go with this one. So you can get a basic idea as to what you're headed for. During this day, it's not long before you are amongst trees, getting thicker and thicker as you head into a heavier wooded area of Lioness. The road cuts through it cleanly and is quite wide, easily wide enough for two large carts to pass going opposite directions. In some areas, it's even wider. It's very well maintained and it's paved with a smooth cobblestone type material that has mortar between that keeps the bumps from driving you nuts throughout the day and taxing a toll on your behind as you move forward. None of you are in a cart, you're all on horses. And again, you're passing settlements, farms, when there are open areas. In the wooded areas that you're coming into now, you're seeing a few of the way stations where people might stay the night, and also taverns that would, of course, be accommodating to those that are traveling north or south. Along the way, over the next couple of hours, you're seeing that there are several tertiary roads that cut off towards settlements and farms and so forth, that some of the travelers are moving off to. And so as you go further and further, you're noting that you're getting into less of a crowded road, and there aren't that many coming south as much as there are going north. You're welcome to speak to any of them if you want, or you can just, focus on just your travel if you like, whatever you want to do.
Hildy just waves at people as they go by, like boat traffic.
Pretty much.
Anytime someone passes them coming from York, Styx is going to put his hood up and then head down.
Okay.
So people can't really see him.
Okay. All right.
I think unless there are any Atlantean or Sylvan travelers along the road, Niles will just keep his head up and keep his eyes fixed. He'll give a respectful nod and a wave to the Atlantean and Sylvan passerbys.
So as a point of context, while you were in Lionsgate, Nihilus would have seen some Atlanteans here or there, not very many of them. Probably would have had to really work through the crowd to get to them. But the only time you were outside of the arena, of course, was prior to going into the arena, and then, of course, when you left. At that point, you were moving at quite a bit of haste. Aside from that, you're not seeing any Atlanteans and no Sylvan other than some Centaur that pass in groups, and they're trudging along, moving at kind of a stately pace, just kind of a slow canter, not seem to be in a big hurry that you do come across during the day. Aside from that, it's mostly humans, and they seem like mostly local people heading toward the north.
He'll just mostly ignore them and keep headed north and east.
Okay. And in response to Hildy, there are, people seem to be very, very well-mannered. They wave back. Some of them say hello. Some are tip their hats, but none of them are chatty, as they all just kind of just keep to themselves. Considering that they are coming from Lionsgate as you are, and what has occurred there, to what extent that they know what has occurred there, they are polite, but they don't involve themselves in others passing.
Probably for the best.
Anything you want to do during the day specifically as you head up the road toward Warwick?
Rabbit, there's no sign of the temple knights that passed us in the night, right?
You have not seen any sign whatsoever of them after they passed you in the early morning. Again, they were moving at quite a quick clip. Where they were going, you don't know, but they were moving pretty fast.
I just thought maybe they might stop for a rest or something.
You haven't come upon them at this point.
Yeah.
Hildy
They're heading towards York, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah, they're
Sorry.
unmistakably heading in that direction, and most certainly you could presume they came from Lionsgate as close as you were at the time.
A jaunty little tune.
jaunty little tune.
So I'm just a little curious. During my unitribe, my little speech earlier, everyone ran away. But
Well, they moved away.
with the song, do I see the others speed up just a little bit or move?
Who's singing?
Hildy.
Oh, Hildy.
It's a jaunty.
Hildy is singing a jaunty little tune.
Styx is going to say at one point, he's just going to go, weird people I'm traveling with.
And of course, I'll just respond, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, I guess speed is of the essence, so we'll probably just keep on going. Put this memory behind us.
Okay. You overtake the group of centaurs that I mentioned. They just kind of nod at you. The look of them Nim, of course, you'd be very familiar with centaurs, being from the Sylvan Kingdom. The others, Nihilus, of course, would have seen them multiple occasions, most certainly. The others may not be as familiar with them, although they're not completely, they're not completely unknown. They're rare in the Western Kingdoms. But when they do come up from Gaddies, they typically come up in a group. And then there are several clans that live also in the Sylvan Kingdom proper on the Emerald Isle as well. So, in any case, by the end of the day...
Were any of those centaurs, by the way, were any of those our friend from the arena previously?
Julius, no.
Julius.
Most certainly, I would imagine that just the look of them, they're wearing the armor. All of them, male and female alike, just 5. And then a younger one that's probably Centaur is equivalent to teens that's traveling with them. It's clearly a family of 5 that's traveling together, all carrying their spears. You can see that they have weapons, whether it be a battle axe or sword or a spear, a combination. They all carry bows. And as Nim would know, most of them are fairly good archers, just the tribal nature of their upbringing. And they're normally very conservative and not too interactive. They don't engage too much. And Nim and Nihilus would probably know that the one exception to that is when they, like the dwarves, get a little bit of ale in them. And they loosen up quite a bit. But these seem to be moving, purposefully toward the north, just as you are, with some goal in mind, whatever it might be.
I'm sure they're going to give us a wide berth after our stories about the arena.
Well, also because you still stink a little, dear.
Yeah, that has not gone away. Still pink.
It's my new name.
Yes. And it's still quite fragrant and not in a good way. But
We will just say my fame precedes me, much like my stink.
can say that.
Sounds poetic when I say it that way.
Kind of.
Not so much.
By the end of the day, as it begins to get dark once more, and the sun begins to get closer to the horizon, it's darker in the forest a lot sooner than it is, since you can't see the horizon, and the shadows start to fall much sooner than when the light overhead gets completely dark. And you know that you probably have about an hour before it's going to be completely dark within the forest. And you're noticing that the others that you can kind of see in the distance as you turn a corner, as you round a bend, are beginning to look for campsites. And there's a wide swath of areas that have been carved out probably over centuries that have been used for camping from time to time. So you are certainly welcome to look for a place now or continue through the evening.
I'm going to renew my offer to Nihilus, which I made on our last adventure, and offer to light something up on his horse so that we can see and travel perhaps a little longer.
The horses may be getting tired, Nihilus. Should we stop?
He'll ignore Jolo at his request.
Well, the request wasn't offered.
If he hears Hildy, I'm assuming we're all pretty close together, Ravik.
Right, you're traveling all together at this point.
I'm prepared to continue on if you would like to, but we can certainly make camp for the night if that's the consensus of the group.
Can I use maybe animal handling or something and see if the horses look ready to stop?
Sure, you can do a survival check.
Can you also find out what our horses look like?
16.
You see, they're riding horses. You guys haven't pushed them really hard. You've been just kind of a casual camper throughout the day. So they look like they probably could put a few more hours on before they got tired. But it's been 10 hours of travel at this point, so it's up to you whether or not you want to push them.
And Hildy's horse is a little out of shape, right?
No, dear, she's
A little Rubenesque.
she's curvy, like you. You're a little pudgy, and so's the horse.
You know what? The people have to get a good look at me, so there needs to be a lot of me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you if you guys want to push them any further. The horses themselves are basically chestnut, buff, and your typical riding horses. They're in great shape, of course. Francisco, as I mentioned before, took very, very good care of them. He claimed that they were from Fortesos, but to your eye, they don't look any different than any other riding horse you've seen anywhere else in the Western Kingdoms.
You know the path, Nihilus. Is there any reason to keep going tonight?
It's an easy, straight road ahead, so I think our journey would be safe. It's just a matter of keeping the horses fresh, and if you folk are able to withstand a little more riding.
I can take a little more. Getting used to the motion.
I can take a little more. I'd rather just go about 10, 15 minutes away from the road when we camp, though.
That's certainly fine. We can do that.
Looking out off the road, remember you are in a forest, and so to move off the road and past the kind of sidebar clearings and into the forest proper would probably be a little bit challenging with the horses in the dark hours. So you can do it, but you're probably not going to be able to ride them, and you're going to have to scout the way pretty closely, in order for a hoof not to get stuck in a rut or in a hole or anything like that and break a leg.
And it's spooky.
Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll look at Nihilus and say, it's up to you. You know the woods better than me.
At this point, I say we just sleep at one of these designated campsites there along the road. We've passed so many of them, I believe that they're safe.
Any taverns along the road that we could maybe have a good night at?
Where you are right now, you passed one earlier in the day, just before it started to get dark, and so you have an idea that they're a few leagues apart. Not very consistently, but they're generally about 8-10 miles apart, depending on where you are along the journey. Nihilus would certainly know this. So it is possible that if you continued on for a while, you might run into a tavern or at least a wayside inn if you were looking for a room.
So Ravik, according to the map, along Lion's Gate, about how far are we? Like the O or the G?
So this would be your second day of travel, although the first day was just getting out of Lion's Gate and only a couple hours on the road. So it's kind of a partial day. This day being a much more longer day, and you expect that it's going to take you, if you stayed on the road, about 6 or 7 days. You can kind of chop it up in 6s and 7s to give yourself an idea that you're like probably a little past the O at this point, or right in that area. Just eyeballing it. And now that you know that you're going to be in the forest for a while, you're going to be in the forest for a couple of days before you get to the edge of it, and even as you get out of the heavier areas of the forest, it's still going to be forested all the way up to Yorwick, to one level or another. They just brief
as we're riding
where there's farms and crops and so forth.
As we're riding and the sun starts setting, Nihilus is going to cast Druidcraft again. He's going to whisper to Neve and ask her what the weather will be like this evening and tomorrow.
Okay, roll a d30.
19?
19. Isn't that what you rolled last time?
I have no idea.
No, it's not. So it's going to be chilly. You can expect that, but it's going to be fairly consistent throughout the day and night. And so the wind's starting to come in. Or you anticipate the wind to come in as you're feeling more of a heavy breeze on your face. You're feeling the idea of of rain, perhaps, and almost the sensation of a heavier rain on your shoulders as you're focusing on what the weather's going to be like over the next 24 hours. So your impression is that although it's not going to get a lot colder, you're definitely going to be dealing with some thunderstorms.
Rabbit, how does this... Sorry.
I'll just say I'll tell the group as soon as I get the revelation of what's to come. I'll mention to the group that it looks like a little bit of thunderstorms ahead. We might want to ride on a little farther and seek shelter at one of the taverns or the inns along the road. Otherwise, I'm happy to sleep in the forest, but it's up to you all.
Rabbit, what is this forest like compared to back home in the Sylvan Forest? Similar type of setup or very different?
No, not at all. The Sylvan Forest, within the Sylvan Kingdom on the Emerald Isle, as you know, is you would consider it a living organism. The way that it's a magical essence that you can feel, that every Sylvan can feel, as part of their lands and their kingdoms, as they almost feel as one with nature. Here, it's a much more mundane. I mean, you still have a connection with nature. You still have a connection with the trees and the forest and the animals and beasts around you that you hear and you sense, but it's not the same. It's just that there's not that magical connection that you feel inside that makes you feel as one. Here, it feels foreign. It doesn't feel dangerous or threatening, really, but it feels foreign.
So should we push on and try to look for a tavern as we might get some rain?
I think so.
Can you see while you're riding?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's pitch black, I'm assuming I think what Mike was talking about last time, the whole night vision of being able to see in the dark without a light.
Yeah, I mean, when there is some ambient light, which is the moon and the stars, that's directly above you, where the trees are not blocking the way. And again, it's a pretty wide swath, about 40 to 50 feet wide swath of road and then the just clear area beside the road. So it's a nice wide area that you're going down. And so, yes, you can probably see with normal vision, without the dark vision, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, depending on the bends and the changes in the road along the way. It's not really hilly here. It's pretty flat at this point, but there are bends in the road. And so the only thing for those of you that have dark vision that really disrupt that is any light that you're carrying and any light that you pass. And you're often at this point passing several campsites along the way where people just, hail you, hello, politely through the night, but not in such a way that they're inviting you to join their campsite. And you hear, groups talking here and there. Most of them seem like merchants, traders, travelers, perhaps groups of people that traveled specifically down to Lionsgate for the tourneys and are now returning wherever their home is up north. But after the first day, it has the amount of traffic has fallen off significantly. So the majority of it kind of within the first 100 miles or so just kind of split off, along the various roads and so forth, going to the various settlements, villages, and nearby towns to Lionsgate.
So Nihilus will look back and say to Jolo, "So, priest of cleric, that's the second time you've offered to light the way for me. Are you scared of the dark?"
No, I just wanted to help out. I'm always looking to see how I can help my followers, my flock, and give them good reason to stay committed to my path.
It's okay to be afraid of the dark, though.
What would make you consider us your followers or your flock?
We are traveling together, aren't we? On the same journey, aren't we? We fought together to try to protect the queen, although some of us more than others.
if we were a flock of birds, considering I'm leading the way, wouldn't that make you one of my followers?
It's the amazing thing about birds. One takes the lead, gets tired after a while, goes to the back, and another takes his place. A good leader knows to allow that to happen. But why are we quibbling about such small things?
I know something about birds, dear. Have you ever seen when there's a large flock of birds flying in a V? If you ever look closely, one side of the V will always be longer. And that's because there's more birds on that side.
Nihilus spurs his horse to go a little bit faster.
Even Jolo does.
All these weird people.
I know, right?
Six is muttering to himself as he just travels on. Okay.
He's talking to his dagger.
I love
So how much further would you like to travel during the evening?
I think we're looking for a tavern, right? Or an inn?
Okay. What I meant was, how far do you want to go before you're able? I mean, if you're not able to find like a mile or two, or do you want to continue on for a specific amount of time?
There's no real reason to stop before we find one. Unless it starts raining, maybe.
The horses
But they're fine.
need some rest.
Hildy
I'll
handled
keep,
them
an eye
already.
on, I'll keep an eye on my horse, and I'll just keep going towards ahead till we see something, unless the horse starts to
Okay.
give
So
signs of
that
exhaustion.
that you still haven't found a wayside inn or a tavern. Do you want to continue on?
I'll just look back at the group and give them a shrug and a raised eyebrow.
We could be traveling all night. The horses are, I don't want to kill off these horses.
Yeah. I think we should stop as well.
I'm ready and willing. We just pull off to one of these campsites. Just be prepared to get wet.
Perhaps an early start. We could find an inn before the rain in the morning.
You want to find an inn in the morning?
Well, if the point is to get out of the rain, it doesn't matter if it's dark or light out. The point was not to travel with lightning hitting us.
I don't mind the weather one bit. I was just more taking into account the fragility of you
I
three.
don't want him to get sick either. I understand.
You know, I was called fragile last time, but I don't know. I did flex my muscles last time too. So I think we've pretty much cleared up that question.
Okay. So, just the first area to camp that you find?
Maybe one with some shelter of some type? Is that a thing?
It could be.
As a temple guy, I'm not really a big camper.
Right, so anybody who wants to can roll a survival.
I will.
I feel like I should.
Unnatural 20.
Dirty 20.
I have a
Dirty, slutty little 20. Nasty, dirty, bad 20.
21 for Nihilus.
And 21 for Nihilus. Okay. You
I have a-
beat your...
He did.
Okay. As it should be,
Dirty little
since
20.
Nihilus is the ranger of the group. Within the next 20 minutes or so, as you pass 3 or 4 of these little dirt side areas that have a circle of rocks that clearly has been designed for a campfire, you can see that there are fallen timbers and so forth that are used to sit around the campfires and hitch horses to and so forth. You can see the cart ruts in the dirt as well. Most of them aren't that large, only just large enough for maybe a carriage to pull in, or a cart, in a place for maybe 2 or 3 tents, maybe. But the one that you find, Nihilus, looks very much like all of these. But the one difference that you notice, you and Hildy, really, is that there have been several boughs from nearby trees that have been tied down, or pulled down, and then tied and staked, and they've been left that way to form this curvature of boughs and leafy boughs that you think might be a good framework for shelter if you might need it.
How many of those?
It's only
Are there?
one. It's only one. It's large enough. It looks like for about 3 people to fit in.
I'll point at it and reference the Sticks and Jolo and Hildy and just mention, looks like there's already a shelter prepared for you.
Well, Styx has a tent, dear, and I don't think Jolo should sleep next to us. He's still a little right.
Styx is going to already be setting up his tent
Okay.
in another little bit away from that canopy, and he's going to find 2 trees, tie the rope around it, and use the blanket as sort of like a canopy over his tent.
Okay.
Little rain fly.
Now, I'm no ranger, but if some of us are keeping watch, we don't need space for all 5 of us at once, do we?
Well, it was big enough for 3, he said. Nihilus would plan to sleep in a tree.
In a tree?
Like an elf.
Why not?
It's the kind of thing an owlbear would do.
I guess.
I've tried that in the past. Not as comfortable as you might think.
Okay, well, if Styx has his tent and Nihilus is going to be up in a tree, I guess we're good.
The point of fact here, the valves that I mentioned that are being held down, or staked down, with some ropes that are a little bit frayed. It's obviously has been here for some time. They don't allow you 100% cover. It looks like there's been some addendum to them, like leathers or blankets that are waterproof or something like that that's been thrown over them. Some other sheltering mechanism, but again, it's a framework. They are leafy and they are alive. They're not broken branches or anything like that. But if it were to rain hard, you wouldn't stay completely dry inside even the shelter.
Well, you 3 can make heads or tails of that shelter if you'd like. I'm going to get a fire going and see if I can catch us some dinner.
All right. Well, if we're
He'll
setting
gather some
watch
sticks.
in the woods, I'd like the morning watch again, please.
I'd be happy to take the early watch.
So during
Early night or early morning?
Early, the first watch. The early, yes.
so that'll put Nihilus and Nem on the second watch together again.
Are they plotting together? They're always spending time together.
You're always
It's the
spinning
ears. It's the ears, dear.
I'll stay up with Jolo in the first watch.
Okay. All right. So, are there any interactions that you guys want to take place during the evening?
I'll talk to Nim for a bit.
Okay.
And I'll talk to Jolo.
Yeah.
So, go ahead with the your perception checks for the first watch.
$21.
Okay.
I got a 13. Yep.
Okay. Most of you are just settling in as they begin their first watch, Styx and Jolo. About an hour into your watch, you hear the trundle of a cart coming from the south, the way you came, and it's moving slowly, but you can hear what sound like voices that are, best you can tell as they get closer, a male and female. They don't sound like, they sound like adults. And the closer they get, it sounds like they're bickering a little bit. And as they get round the bend and your campfire comes into the visual of the people that are on this cart, it is indeed a man and a woman. And they're driving 2 horses and a small cart that has a cover over it, and it looks like there are just barrels, a couple of barrels, and maybe a crate or 2 in the back of it, based on the kind of shape of the blanket or sheet that covers it. As they come closer, they quiet down quite a bit, and moving past you, the man who's got the reins in his hands just kind of nods. The female doesn't even look at you. She's got long, like chestnut hair, and she's got a lighter complexion, probably in her 20s, early 30s. The man looks similar. Both of them are not wearing finery. They have more of a commoner look. But of course here, no one's really starving. So the peasantry of Lioness is not what you would equate to like the peasantry of feudalism. This is quite an affluent land. So with that aside, they are moving aside. They're moving along, not pausing at all at your camp, and seem intent on continuing on.
Styx is going to leave his hood up as they pass, but he's going to just try to see if he recognizes them at all. He doubts it, but he's going to just check.
Okay, looking closely, roll history.
Nope. Well, as it happens, Jolo is also wondering whether they recognize him as well, perhaps for a slightly different reason.
What did Styx roll?
He didn't roll, I don't think.
Okay, he disappeared.
But I'm essentially taking his place. I would like to know if they recognize me as well.
They can roll a history check.
History check. Let's see. 5 plus 3, that's 8.
Okay.
I'm good at math.
There are tens of thousands of people that you probably run into, in the past few days, and especially in Lionsgate. These don't look familiar to you at all. They look like locals. They look like people from Lioness, probably going back to a settlement or a village nearby. No familiarity whatsoever. What did you roll, Styx?
18.
18. Although, you rolled well, but there's no specific familiarity with the people. They look like farmers that are doing well, and they look like they're probably returning from Lionsgate with whatever's left of the goods that they had brought to sell, if they didn't sell everything. What you do notice is that they seem tense. The man watches you closely as he passes. The woman doesn't even look to the side. She just stares straight ahead. And then they continue on down the road.
I'm assuming it's the tenses that I would assume travelers on the road would just take with strangers.
They want to look cool when they pass a celebrity, I think is the key.
Is that what you think?
That's what Jolo thinks. Yeah. That's about average. That's well within the bell curve. If they're tense, they're not rushing, so I don't think there's anything immediate that we need to wake the others. Do you think? Styx?
No,
It's you.
I think they're just wary of other travelers, as they should be.
Maybe news is spreading at this point and just trying to get out.
There's always danger
Should
on the
we
roads.
call them over, or are you a little bit playing incognito?
I'd rather not mix with other people.
You're the shy type, aren't you? Kind of get that.
I can be. If you're ever interested in earning some coin, you want to cause a distraction or two for me, I might be able to sweeten your pockets a little bit.
Not quite sure what sweeten the pockets, like putting sugar in there, I don't know. But I'm always willing and happy to spread the good word of Suna. So if that helps you as well as it helps the audience, then hey, everybody wins.
Well, let's fill Suna's coffers then, huh?
I'm always thinking of others. That's my greatest fault.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You're supposed to be sleeping.
And as you have this conversation, disappear around the bend. So you can pursue them, or you can continue with your watch.
I don't think we should chase after them. That'd be kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
We got to play it low key. If they want our autographs, they'll come back.
Weird is definitely relative. Okay. Any interaction between the two of you? The rest of your watch that you wanted to... Okay.
I just want to tell Styx that if his shyness overtakes him or he ever has any troubles, he can come to me for guidance, and metaphorical guidance, and I will be happy to help him.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
And then I put my hand on his shoulder and I just kind of give a knowing nod.
He shrugs it off pretty quick.
It's okay. I made my point, so I think the message got across. Building the flock.
Like a commercial. Okay. So first watch ends, and and now listen to them. Is there any interaction that you would like to take to?
Well, we have to give them a heads up about what happened, right?
Yes, you can if you like.
So I'm just going to tell Nim and Nihilus that we had 2 more followers come by, and they left after just a quick exchange.
Seems like that's what your followers tend to do.
Exchange? Yeah.
And when I go into my tent, I have a string and a bell. I'm going to rig up a tiny little trap by the tent flap. So if anybody enters.
Okay.
And I think to myself, wow, it's like he admires me so much in my Toll of the Dead, but he's just trying to replicate it in his own little way, and I have a smile on my face as I head off to sleep.
Quiet, I'm trying to sleep.
Smiling too loud for you to sleep.
So now listen now. Anything from you during your watch?
Yeah, so Nihilus will climb down from kind of resting up, sitting down against the tree, and sit next to Nim, and he'll just very methodically and reverently start kind of polishing his longbow, just out of pure habit. He's not really even paying attention. He'll ask Nim, "So, Nimalea, what do you make of these 2 humans that are traveling with us?"
They're very strange.
They are. I don't know. I haven't been around too many humans. I've met several in the past, but not on any of these sort of intimate journeys, and I'm curious whether or not there'll be a liability the way the hooded one seems to always be on the lookout for something over his shoulder, and the noisy one is just always noisy.
Yeah, I'm trying to drown the noisy one out most of the day. I don't know. You know what it's like on the Emerald Isle. Humans are not really around a lot, and when you see them, you don't necessarily trust them immediately. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
What about the old one? Speaking of liability, she seems to be the most. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to guess at her age, but she took a bad spill there in town, just walking through the crowd, and I'm curious if she'll be able to keep up with us or not.
She's kept up with us on horseback. Let's see how it goes.
All right, well, when it comes to a battle, I'm going to look to you to have my back, and I'll likewise do the same.
Like you had my back in the first journey.
That was your chest.
That was
With my breast.
that was out of my hands. I regret taking the battle as it went, but
So you would do it differently.
I would much rather have taken my chances far away from you than in melee combat, where I know I wouldn't stand a chance.
One day we'll have a rematch.
I truly hope not.
You too.
That's it.
Go ahead and roll your perceptions for the evening.
21.
Okay.
Yeah, she beat me.
Okay. Aside from the typical wilderness sounds of night animals and crickets and bugs and so forth, you're not hearing so much the echoes of camps anywhere nearby. Once in a while, perhaps, echoing from far away. as you're not so close together as traveling with near others as you were the previous night. It's a quiet night. But you watch as the clouds begin to roll in, and you can feel the wind pick up. And it seems like what Nihilus predicted is probably going to come to pass before morning breaks, as you can kind of smell the rain in the air. And aside from that, your watch ends, and
I want to do something before the watch ends. So Nim's pretty excited about her new magic, so she's going to cast Detect Magic during her shift at some stage, and just try and pick up the aura of any magical items within 30 feet of where she's sitting.
okay. So this is a new ability of hers, correct? To cast Detect Magic. You kind of start to get the sense of you can feel, how far your senses, kind of push out within 30 feet of you, and kind of get an idea as to what the limitations are. If there is magic nearby, you kind of get the idea that it would have to be out in the open and not completely covered or obscured, or in a pocket or a box or a chest, within a certain thickness. And you're sitting in this area with, where are you right now, Joe? Just lying by the...
I'm
in the
underneath
shelter?
the canopy.
Okay, so you're in the shelter. And is that where Hildy is as well?
We're cuddled up. He just doesn't know it.
Okay.
So I can see it's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Right. So you're getting an aura that's coming from Nihilus. It's not really clear where.
He's up in a tree 31 feet away.
Yeah. Yeah, the aura is kind of obscured by the branches, the trees, but he did say he came down from the tree. So, unless he went back out, regardless, wherever he is in the tree, out of the tree, nearby, there is an aura that is coming from him. And aside from that, no other particular auras.
Do I know this school of magic?
Roll an Arcana.
Oh.
What'd you roll?
I've got 6.
A 6, okay. Yeah, again, the spell is still very, very new to you, and so it's not something you just innately know. You're not a trained caster, warlock, wizard, sorcerer. So this is all very, very new to you, and it's just not really clear what it might be. But there's definitely an aura of some sort.
Okay. I'm really just testing out my new powers.
She detected the aura of greatness around Joe.
Not at all.
No?
No, there was nothing.
Okay,
It
we'll
was
hire
very
next time.
dull.
You'll see it. It's good.
Void.
It's good stuff.
This is the dark void. All right. And so that brings us to the third watch with
The lovely Hildy.
Hildy, yeah, by yourself tonight. And so, Nim, are you staying?
I'll stay up and keep her company.
Okay. So the two ladies of the party, of the group, awake together. Any interactions like to take place during your watch?
Hildy's a little not put off, but not as approachable to the non-humans. She hasn't had much experience with the non-humans.
So she just.
Nimways instigates a conversation with Hildy, so I guess we sit in silence.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right, so you just quietly, just not necessarily enjoying each other's company, a little bit awkward as you just keep an eye on things and listen to the night sounds and so forth. Roll perceptions. Both you can do as well, Nim, since you're up.
Unnatural 20?
Natural 20, wow.
No, unnatural.
Oh, well, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
What you roll, Nim?
15.
Okay. So again, the night critters, the sounds of insects, the low roll of thunder in the distance, and by the time your watch ends, it's beginning to sprinkle,
I'm going
and
to get wet.
it's cold. It's a very, very cold, icy rain that's coming down. You can feel that it's being blown in steadily from the north, and the wind is picking up as just before the daylight breaks. And you can see above the sky, in the sky above, the streaks of light that have come above the horizon, but still down below in the trees where you are now, surrounded by the trees, is still very, very dark. But you've all had your full rest as you come to...
It may be better we're in the forest. Cut some of this wind for us. I'll boot Jolo in the butt. Jolo! Jolo, wake up!
I'm up.
I'm seeing Suna.
She's here?
Well,
Did she mention me?
she's up in the sky or something. Isn't that what you believe?
It's not what I believe. She's up there.
All right, well, there she is. Wake up.
Has the day broken?
Yes, you can see the light in the sky above, but it's still very dark and shadowy down, within the trees themselves. The sun has not risen that high yet.
She's just getting up. What's the rush?
Why don't you ask her to make it stop raining, dear?
I don't think she's the wind god. I think she's the sun god.
Oh, so you have different gods for different things?
No, there's only one that
That
matters.
seems rather silly. Perhaps the wind believer says that Suna doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm going to change the subject just slightly for a change, but trying to keep everything civil here. Hildy, I was a little curious.
Green?
No, pink. Joel the pink.
Green is my favorite color.
I've had a lot of experience with elves, and you saw how I won the Atlantean over not that long ago, and obviously with humans. And
I think that's what they do.
no, I think he said I look good enough to eat. It's easy to make that mistake. But I have very little experience with with those who glow, in a sense. I have my own form of glowing, and I was wondering if you could give me a little feedback. I'm trying to think about how I can level with the Tuatha Dé.
Oh,
And
no, you can't, dear. You're just a human.
but it's all about finding commonalities. And at this point, I cast a very low level light on myself, just a little bit of a glow, and I ask, how's this working out?
You're
Do I? It's a lovely purple shade.
very strange.
It's not doing anything for you.
What do you think it would do for me, dear?
Like, I might.
Do you think this is a pheromone we use to attract each other?
Is it? Because I'll turn it off right now.
No,
It is purple.
I'm not sure you can change the color, can you? Just the intensity, like a dim or a daylight.
The light can be colored as you like,
Okay, all right.
and I like purple.
You may have your... That's a purple.
I feel like this isn't really working for me. I'm just gonna I'm gonna turn off the light and just kind of walk away.
Perhaps you should do blue, and maybe you can bond with the Atlantean. His name is Nihilus, dear.
I know. He's one of my followers. I'm trying to expand the crowd, but I guess this is why I work on things and I test things out in front of an audience before I.
Does that normally work for you?
It's not working out that well today, but yeah. Okay, I was just kind of curious.
I'll go shake Styx's head.
You hear
Styx!
ding, 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 ding.
Stixy!
He's tolling the stick. That's what I call his little thing.
Your blanket's going to get wet.
He has his blanket over his head now with the rain.
You said you put the blanket on top of the trees.
Well, then once I come out, I'm going to
Trees
take
are
it
really
off
sad.
to cover me up.
Still going to get wet. We should get going.
Nim's already sitting on her horse.
Ready to go, huh?
Oh, you're taller. when you're on the horse. That's very... I bet if I get on my horse, I'll be taller than...
Now that I'm on my horse, do you think the centaurs would give me a lot more?
No, we're very sorry about the centaurs. We shouldn't have done that.
Done what?
Never mind. What's a day thing, dear?
I guess I'll learn more about that when they join us. Okay.
Styx is already packing his horse and putting his tent away and saying, "Hurry up, let's get out of here."
I'm on my horse. My high horse.
That's why I take the morning watch. All this is done by the time we're ready to go.
So now, as you climb down out of the tree, it's kind of bending a little bit in the with the wind that's starting to pick up. Based on your sense with the druidcraft that you had cast the evening before, you get the sense that it's going to get a lot worse. That it's going to rain a little bit harder, the wind's going to pick up, and that it's going to continue on at least throughout the day. Beyond that, you're not sure at this point.
I'll let the group know
Lioness,
that it's gonna. Sorry, I'll let the group know that it's gonna get worse and to hunker down with any blankets they might have.
Hunker down now that we're on the horses again? You couldn't have told us that was, like...
So you plan on traveling,
As
or you're
we're-
going to stay here and wait it out?
I think we should travel.
Yeah, I mean it's just rain, right? It's not like some huge tornado or anything. I would say we keep
just-
going.
Yeah. At this point, it's just a heavy wind and rain.
Are you afraid of rain too, or just dark?
I'm not afraid of the dark, but, a light cleric tends to like lights and clerics.
All right.
I already am a cleric.
Rain is very cleansing, and she'll give a pointed look at Jola.
I have no sins to cleanse, but I will take that under advisement. Perhaps it'll help the others follow my lead.
The soap still doesn't taste good.
So as you get underway, and with the rain and the wind picking up, over the next couple of hours, it gets worse and worse to the point that you can't hardly communicate with each other. You're just kind of like bearing against the almost horizontal rain coming at you. It's icy and cold. It's just penetrating your clothing and your armor. Your cloaks are getting saturated. The horses are just kind of like with their heads down, just moving forward. Anybody that you've seen, you passed a few people that have just kind of, with carts and wagons, have just kind of moved off the road, and it looks like they're just basically waiting it out. Fortunately, in Lioness, the roads are built rather well, and in anticipation of the very, very severe winters, of course, and this type of weather that occurs during the summertime. And the water just easily runs off, so you're not slogging through mud or anything like that. You're going over the hard cobbled pavers that keep the horse's footing along the way. By the afternoon, it's to a point that it's quite severe rain and wind coming down, and
Have we passed another inn yet?
yes, there would be. Let me see. At this point in the journey, you passed one literally an hour after you got underway, when the weather wasn't so bad, and then at this point in the afternoon, you still haven't passed another one yet. So, in an effort not to beleaguer travel, we know that you have another 5 or 6 days up to the point that you get to Yorwick, and would be in a position to either travel on to Yorwick or to one of the villages or settlements nearby, south of Yorwick, if you were to decide to go directly, get off the main road, the Thayer Road, and head off toward Dormonts. Again, the Dormonts is a massive expanse of area, and so it's hundreds of miles, square miles, and finding what you're looking for might be difficult, depending on where it is in that geographical area. But I mean, once you get up closer to Yorwick, you shouldn't have any too much difficulty if you do talk with some of the locals, as you've been told, how to get at least to the massive expanse of fields. So over the next 3 days, as you travel through the forests and up the road, getting a glimpse of the wide river to the east of you, is there any particular interactions that you want to take over these days? You're passing a few people along the way. It gets fewer and fewer as you go north. Many of the people that had headed off in carts and wagons, you've already passed them as you're on horseback without the laboring of any sort of vehicle that you're pulling behind you. And so, still at this point, not seeing any sign whatsoever of the Temple Knights that had rushed by that first morning. Are there any interactions you'd like to take before you get to that point up south of Yorwick?
I'd like to go up to Nihilus and ask him, so what about this mission for the Empire that the Fat Man talked about?
Well, I believe he said that this mission we're on would serve the Empire. I don't know of any other mission for the Empire that you might be speaking of.
Can I do an insight?
You sure can. What are you
Natural
inciting? What are you inciting? You're inciting
What was that?
what?
I'm inciting Nihilus if he's lying about there not being another mission.
Okay. What, you roll a natural 20? Specifically, you intimate that specifically, as he said it, is true. But there are nuances there that are unclear.
All right, I'll ponder on those nuances and I'll maybe revisit this.
You probably haven't had a whole lot of, you probably had almost no interaction with Atlantean before. Despite your awe at seeing one, as rare as they are, and only hearing stories about how, some of the great stories about Atlanteans from the Emerald Isle, you'd be almost as in awe of the Sylvan Elf that you're meeting now, although you probably would have seen a few more of them on occasion than the Atlanteans. Difficult to read, and although you rolled extraordinarily well, it's your familiarity with the race is kind of leaving you uncertain about how to really judge what Nihilus is saying.
All right. He'll just nod to Nihilus then and keep trekking.
Hildy is going to regret the fact that she didn't get a chance to actually talk to an elf. And she's a seeker of knowledge, whatnot, so she's going to space out her watches over the next couple of days to try and keep watches with everybody, even with Jolo. Mm-hmm. And just general small talk and chit chat and try to get to know them. Nothing in particular about missions or...
Okay. So kind of forming a relationship or a bond, basically?
Trying.
Right. Okay.
And I too have something I'd like to accomplish.
Oh God.
So I asked a question earlier. I had connected with Hildy over my purple lights, and I've already connected with obviously Nim and Nihilus, and perhaps even Styx in our quiet moment when I put my hand on his shoulder, just his shoulder. I want to know if I can connect to the centaurs while I ride the horse, because my only experience so far has been in the arena when the centaur tried to kill me. So am I getting a better effect?
Well, they're not nearby at the moment.
Oh, there are none? I missed my opportunity?
Yeah, they you overtook them on the first day, and first full day, and you haven't seen them since.
Okay, so still open for debate?
Maybe riding the horse, you have a better feeling of what the centaurs experience.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe you are part centaur now.
I don't know if I'm part centaur, but the key thing is centaurs are part of me, part of my heart.
Anyone else during this time?
Well, they can't connect with the centaurs either. What are you saying?
No connections with centaurs. The brief moment that you guys saw those. Over the past few days as you travel, the one particular thing that might stand out in Styx's mind is that you have not overtaken the cart with the odd man and woman who were obviously tense about something. You haven't overtaken them. Not necessarily surprising, because there are lots of roadways leading off this main highway where they might have taken. And of course, depending on how far they traveled during the night before the weather broke, they might have stayed ahead of you at least for a while before you guys managed to get through the weather as well. And the weather lasts only throughout that day, and then by that second evening, it begins to calm once again. Over the next 3 days, as you're traveling along the road, it stayed rather consistent, with winds blowing to some degree, but not anything near the severity of what you dealt with that second day. And a little bit of rain from time to time, but for the most part, the day is clear. The days are clear, and the nights are cold but clear as well. On the fifth night, afternoon, as you are making your way along the roadway, you haven't seen anybody nearby for a while. It's been quiet. You haven't passed anybody for most of the day. The settlements, the taverns, the wayside inns are far and few between at this point. And there's still some distance from Yorwick, but you're more than halfway there, and probably only a day or two away if you even go that far. There's been a few travelers that have come from the opposite direction during the early part of the day, but the afternoon and as you get into the evening now, still surrounded by trees in a forested area, but not quite as thick as what it was in the first few days of travel. Now you're seeing some elevations nearby. You're seeing, mostly off to the east, you're seeing some rocky areas, some hills and so forth. Not so much mountainous area that you can see from here, and certainly you're aware that there are mountains off to the west as well, but you can't see them because of the forest. But there's definitely a change in the elevation here to some extent. And as you round a bend, perhaps preparing soon to scout out a place to camp once again, in the roadway, just within your periphery of vision at this time of day, about 90 feet away, what appears to be a cart that has been broken down. It looks like the back portion, the axle has been broken, or something has happened to the back portion of the cart. The wheel is completely off and it's kind of not flipped over, but almost on its side. And you can see that there are barrels that have fallen out and broken on the roadway, and you can see that some sort of liquid glistens in pools around it. A couple of what look like crates have fallen out. One of them holding clothing, textiles, some sort of cloth that spills out from it in various colors, mostly muted. Nothing real fancy like silks or anything like that, or purples. And then another container crate that appears to be intact.
Do I recognize the cart as the cart that those two people that passed us?
Roll perception.
19.
19. Looks similar. I mean, it's a cart. Looks about the same size, similar design. It was very nondescript, typical cart, but this you can also see that there was some sort of a blanket or tarp or covering that's been cast off to the side, and it's spilled its contents when it went down. As you guys are coming around the corner at this point, you're seeing all of this. Once you get to within about 60 feet,
Well,
something starts.
we see a cart in the middle of the road.
Yeah, about 60
Are
feet
there
away at this point.
horses connected to the cart, or
Nope.
people trying
Not
to
seeing
pull
any
the cart?
horses. Not seeing any movement at all. No
Okay.
horses. Right.
It's a horse cart, though, right? It's a cart designed for horses, not humans.
Well, I mean, from what you can tell. I mean, perhaps humans could ride them, but they wouldn't be pulling them.
Okay.
It's not the Tut Kingdom. So, as you get within about 60 feet, you note what appears to be, and again, the light's failing, to be a booted foot toward the front of the cart. The back of the cart is facing you. Toward the front of the cart, you see what looks like a leg attached to a booted foot, but you don't see the rest of the body as it's obscured by the cart itself. Don't see any horses. You don't see anybody moving around. What do you do?
Well, he's gonna slow down a little bit and let him and Nihilus go first.
Six draws his rapier.
Joel, be careful.
Nim will definitely go straight towards the cart.
And I'm going to hold an action firebolt in case we see any enemies heading towards us.
What? What's Nihilus doing?
I will, I'll look to Nim, and then it looks like she's beginning to head towards it, so I will, I'll say to her, Nimalea, let us work together to see what we might find ahead, if there's any trouble or anyone that needs our help. As long as we stay together side by side, we can figure this out, and I will use Emboldening Bond on the two of us.
Okay. And what does that do?
So as long as Nim and Nihilus are within 30 feet of each other, we get a D4 to add to our hit rolls, our saving throws, and our ability checks.
All right, Jolo and Hildy?
For how long, Nihilus?
Can I hold the dead?
So, Josh?
Can I hold
You want to hold an action to cast that against a threat?
potential threat that might show up?
Okay.
Or the foot if it does anything weird.
Okay.
It's freaking me out.
We'll say threat. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to stay within 10 feet or so of the people that I know can kill people.
Okay, so Nihilus and Nim are kind of moving up. You guys are all at 60 feet right now, and Nihilus and Nim are just getting ready to move up forward.
Yep, I'm gonna move up just behind them.
Okay, so you're going to stay 10 feet behind them?
Yep.
All right, got it.
I'll probably be next to Hildy then.
Okay. Joel, you staying where you are?
No, I'll go with the group.
Okay, you're all
Right.
mounted at this point,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so everybody's staying on their horses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speedy getaway.
Once we get right to the carts, I'm going to get down.
Okay, well, before you even get that far, just as you get within about 30 feet, suddenly a head pops up over the cart. It's a woman with chestnut hair. She's got pale complexion, very typical commoner clothes for lioness. Nothing spectacular, not wearing any jewelry that you can see, nothing sparkles in the moonlight. But her entire face is bloodied. And suddenly she just shakes back and forth behind, almost as, just like uncontrollably, almost convulsing. And you hear this voice say, Marlene? Marlene, is that you? Her lips aren't moving. But
but it's coming from her.
It's coming from that direction.
Was that her foot that we saw, or was that...
Foot's still there. With the leg. And, I mean, presumably the rest of whatever body it's attached to. You guys continue to advance?
Was the movement that she was making similar to what Hildy did when the buzzing started in the arena? As I recall, Hildy was shaking a little bit as the buzzing started.
I just got a shudder up.
A shudder.
This is much more violent shaking, convulsing. And you can only see like just her head, and when she was shaking a little bit of her shoulders, her arms didn't like come up and flail or anything, just her body just shuddered back and forth violently for a moment, and then the voice spoke.
How far away are we from her?
You're 30 feet away from the cart at this point. And then the cart itself is like probably about, 10 feet long. And so she would be another 10 feet beyond, right behind the cart. So 40 feet from the figure.
Nihilus will
And you're 10 feet
pull out.
behind Nihilus and them. So you're 50 feet.
He'll pull out his longbow and knock an arrow and just be on the ready, and he'll make sure that he's within a few feet of Nim.
Okay, so does everybody continue up?
I want to use thaumaturgy and just shout, not loud enough to intimidate her, but just to make sure that she hears me. Does your traveling companion need any help?
Okay. Anybody else?
Do I
Did
get
she say the
another
name Merlin?
shudder or buzz from this? Okay.
Okay, so you continue moving up to the cart?
Nim's going to go straight towards the cart.
Okay, so another 30 feet. You're on your horses still, remember. Another 30 feet, you move up. You get to the back of the cart. And at this point, you see this figure of the woman suddenly jerk back and forth quickly. And a figure begins to rise next to her. And you watch as this huge, massive, grotesque-looking, greenish skin. It's you note the warts and bulbous areas along its like almost deformed figure as it rises. You can see these huge tusks that come out of its mouth and sharp, jagged teeth, red glowing eyes, a very heavy brow, and the shock of red hair that cascades down its back. Its hair itself, the back itself also covered in hair, and you can see the areas of its bare chest covered in hair as well. There are a couple of arrows that are embedded in this figure. But the thing is literally half the size of the cart as it rises, and it shakes the girl once again. You smell like... You smell of smelling. He's looking at somebody. He's looking at one of you very, very, very intently.
Is it Nim? Because she has the arrow thing too. No, I'll just stop there.
It's holding the woman, and in one fluid, it begins to bound away. What are you going to do?
Do we have any idea what this grotesque monster is?
Roll history.
Thing is?
Roll
Nihilus would take a shot
for you.
at the
Anybody else that wants to give it a shot can roll a
21.
21. Okay.
I'm going to get off my horse and keep my firebolt ready if it takes an aggressive action.
Okay, it's bounding away with this woman at this point, like bounding backwards. And you know something of these creatures, Hildy. You've seen them up close, personal. You have a familiarity, although none of them look the same. They're all very different looking, these grotesque deformed figures that you recognize as a troll. As it bounds backwards, it's like bounding away from you. Are you gonna
Initiative here? Or we
Not yet.
do things?
Yep, but you have a held action, so, or some of you do. So I don't know if you're going to use them or not, or you're going to wait and see what happens.
Nihilus would shoot at its legs.
Okay, if you have a held action, you can go ahead and use it now, and then we're going to go into initiative.
if it was running away, it's not a threat to me, so I'm going to think it's going to go away. So I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. You can decide, Jello, whether or not
I'd help it.
I don't
threat or not.
I don't know what happened. I don't know the story. I don't know what this thing is.
It's a monster that's carrying a woman away.
Is he protecting her?
Alice?
Saving her?
19.
Okay. So as it bounds away, you knock an arrow and watch as it plants itself next to the other one in its upper left arm. Its right arm is holding the woman just easily as it's just carrying her like it's a rag doll. You can see now that the blood, that a good portion of her clothing near her abdomen has been ripped away. You can see almost a cavity as most of the internal organs have been removed.
Yeah, it's not helping her.
Could have been like that before.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Ten piercing.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have a held action that they want to use at this point?
Rabbit Nim would have gone straight for them. I don't know if I could use my action to try and catch up.
Right now, you're just kind of slowly approaching, and so right now we can go into initiative if your intent is to pursue it.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and roll initiative. Anybody over 20?
I am also over 20.
21.
Okay, Nihilus at 21. Yeah. Anybody else over 20?
Yeah, I threw a natural 20 and plus
natural
that's
20.
21. Yeah.
Okay, now we're at the top. Nihilus next. Anybody over 15? Okay, anybody over 10?
11.
Building. All right. Julia, would you roll?
6.
And 5 from Styx. Okay, so Styx is coming in last. All right. Okay, so Nim, you have the initiative here. You're at the top of the round. What are you going to do?
I'm going
You didn't
to...
bound. You're just in the act of bounding, so you're literally 40 feet away. You're up to the card, so you're literally about 15 feet away from it right now.
I'm going to bound up... Sorry, I'm going to chase it and I'm going to slash it with my sword.
Okay, so you run around the cart and go after it with your sword. Go and roll your attack.
And... Yeah, sorry. That's 8.
8 misses.
Okay.
So it just kind of deflects your blow with its massive arm.
Okay, as a bonus action, I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay, that gives you plus
Which
2
should
AC.
Yes.
All right, anything else
So
from
I'm
Nim?
feeling a little stronger. No.
Okay, Nihilus, what are you doing?
He's gonna follow Nim's lead and just make sure that he's within 30 feet of her. And I'll shoot another arrow, trying to aim at its legs to see if I can slow it down.
Okay. So are you calling your shot?
I mean, I don't know the
If you're calling
technicality
your
of that. I don't
shot,
have
you're
anything
attacking
special.
disadvantage.
No, I won't.
Okay.
That's an 18.
Okay, it hits.
For 6 piercing.
Okay. All right, another arrow planting in its back as it just started to turn away. Okay, anything else from Nihilus?
I'm just gonna yell out, Nim, stay close.
Okay. All right, before Hildy, that brings up the troll. So, Nim, you are the only one within 5 feet of the creature. And it shakes the girl again, kind of sideways facing, shakes the girl again, and it just kind of seethes with you can see the rage in his eyes as they blaze with anger, and the kind of greenish blood, greenish red blood that's flowing from the two new wounds that have been exacted by Nihilus. One of them begins to close up, and it just grimaces, and once again, this time looking more pointedly beyond you. Smells like murder. And bounds away, and this attempting to want to continue to move. And so you'll have an opportunity attack if you want.
For sure.
The wound that closed up was on the troll, not the woman. Okay.
It's 19.
Okay, it's a hit.
Okay. It's 30 points of damage.
What?
30 points of damage. Oh, sorry. 10 points of damage.
I was like, the fuck?
I know, where I got 30 points from.
We all leveled to 2. She leveled to like 10 already.
Yeah, right?
He goes first from now on.
So 10 points of damage?
10 points of damage.
Okay, got it. We get a good slashing blow there to the creature as it does bound away and moves very, very quickly with this ragdoll woman at this point that doesn't seem to be alive. I mean, she's not reacting in any way. 60 feet away from you. So now the creature is 60 feet away. Hildy, you were 10 feet behind Nihilus, and Nihilus is at least 10 feet behind Nim.
Okay.
So you're 50 feet away from it. Or, sorry, 80 feet away from it.
Okay. Hildy is going to yell at the troll. It's not her fault, and she's going to concentrate all of her rage and sadness over this thing into a force bolt.
Okay.
11.
11 misses. As he's starting to get into the trees, you see the force of something just wreck the side of a tree. Not enough to fell it, but enough to just do damage to the entire side of the tree. Anything else, Hildy?
I'm going to pursue the troll with him.
Okay, so you're going to move 30 feet?
That's much as my horse will, yeah.
Oh, that's right, you're on horse. So the horse, you're moving at the horse's speed. And so a riding horse moves at what? Is it 40 or 60?
11.
11? Perfect.
Your horse would be slower, though, as we established.
No.
They do 60. A riding horse is 60 feet.
60 feet regular movement? Okay. Yeah, so you can get within 20 feet of the thing if you
I'm
want to.
going to.
Okay, so Hildy's within 20 feet. Okay. Nyla, or Jolo, you are right there with Hildy, so you're 80 feet away from it currently.
I still don't know what's going on. Can I take a look at the owner of the foot? Is he dead? Is he dying? Is
Yeah,
he...
if you want to move up, 20 feet to the front of the cart?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you do so, coming around the side of the cart, you see a man with short, dark hair, pale skin, and again, fairly looks like a local, and his clothing, his entire chest has been ripped open, and you can see that it's basically a scraped out cavity.
Do I have to roll health to know that he's dead? He's totally dead.
I think you could probably assume that he's dead because all of his organs are gone.
It's
I mean, he could be undead, but I mean, so if you have that uncertainty, then you can make a roll. If that's what you'd like to spend your action.
I'm wondering right now, we have 2 dead people, we've got the troll running away, the horses,
Horses are nowhere to be seen.
but this is the troll didn't take the horses, didn't eat the horses, so something here is not adding up.
Yeah, the horses are gone.
probably ran away.
I mean,
there
if you want to study, if you want to make a perception check or an investigation on, the cart itself to see what happened, at the front of the cart where the horses were, you can certainly do so.
I think we might be missing something, so yes, I would like to
Okay,
actually
so
do
that'll
it.
be your action. Go ahead and make a roll.
This is going to pay off, I can feel it. This is going to pay off an 11, an above superior action, above average action.
Yeah, so it's barely above. 11 is enough to tell you. Okay, you see a bit of blood away from where this man is at the front of the cart. It's about 5-7 feet away, somewhere in the neighborhood of where a horse might have been. There were 2 horses on this. It looks like, based on your perception, that it was probably set up for 2 horses. You see that there's no, the reins are gone. There's no lashings. The center post that they were attached to has been broken. And again, there's a little bit of blood on the ground where those horses might have been originally. And then you just see, you don't even see tracks because it's a paved road. There's nothing else beyond that. They're gone.
Weird. Sometimes there's more than meets the eye. Can't be rash here if we're using deadly force.
So you've used 20 feet of your movement. Do you want to do anything else?
I will continue my movement toward Nihilus and Nim, but not quite catch up to them. I will
Nihilus and Nim are now behind you.
Oh, no, I'm going to stay where I am then.
Okay. All right. So that puts you about 60 feet away from the troll, and that brings up Styx.
So Styx will mutter under his breath, not so anybody can hear him. God darn fools, chasing after a monster. The damage is already been done.
Not this
People are dead. And he'll start chasing after him. He will get to the cart. He will look down at the body and say, "This is not going to end well." Then he will keep going. He'll glance back at the body, just pause briefly again to see if there's any persons. But then he'll keep going, and he'll dash up to.
Did you get off your horse earlier, or are you still on your horse?
Did I manage to get off or no?
You said I thought you said you were getting off the horse. So if you did at that point, you would have been. You're 80 feet away from the troll at this point, and 20 feet away from Nihilus, and probably about 10 feet away from Nim, or 10 from Nihilus and 20 from Nim.
So I would have went up to the cart with my horse, tied the reins to the cart,
Okay.
and then kept going.
Okay. All right. So you're running.
Yep.
Okay.
And I would dash if I had an action, if the tying the rope reins wasn't
That's a
an
free
action.
action just to attach your rope real quick. Yeah, so dashing with the extra 20.
And I will use the bonus action to dash also to catch up a little more.
Okay, so that'll put you about 20 feet away, 20 feet behind the troll, I believe. If you were originally 80, right?
Yep. 80, originally 80, 30, 30, 30. Because I had the bonus, I used an action to
use a
dash.
bonus action to add another 30 on top of that. So you can be like right on top of the troll.
Alright, so then what I'd probably do is just do the 60 feet and then I'll shoot the firebolt.
Okay. Well, you just used... You used a...
I was going to dash, but I decided to run my 30, bonus action dash.
Okay, then you're getting your action with
and
firebolt. Got it.
He's right next to Hildy, though.
He's right next to Hildy, except he's on his feet.
Wow, you're fast!
16 to hit.
16 hits.
Alright. 4 points.
4? Okay. As the firebolt basically just slams into the back of his upper back, you kind of see him just grimace in pain as he kind of turns back angrily, growling at you, but then continues to run. It's it from Styx, right? This brings us to the top of the round. So Nim, at this point, you are 60 feet behind the troll, and Nihilus is 70 feet behind the troll. Okay, what are you doing, Nim?
Nim is going to... I'm going to run 30 feet,
Okay.
and then I'm going to drop my crossbow and shoot with my javelin. Throw my javelin.
Okay. All right, so put you 30 feet behind. Go ahead and make your attack.
And 16.
16. 16 hits.
Yeah. Okay, cool. There's 7 points of damage.
Okay. All right, so as that penetrates his thick hide, watching more of that greenish red mucousy blood flow out of it, he's starting to, on his next round, he's going to be amongst some trees. So he's moving into the forest, although it's not heavily forested right here, but there are rocks and it starts to elevate a little bit. So there's more exposed rock here than what you've seen earlier. Okay, anything else, Nim?
I'm 30 feet away from him now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else from me?
Okay, nice.
So I will run up to next to Nim. I believe I can get within another 10 feet of her or so.
Okay.
And I'm going to just yell really loud. Pontus, smite this evil thing! And there will be a bright flash of light that streaks from my hand directly towards it, and I'm casting Guiding Bolt.
Okay. Make your attack.
$19.
19 hits.
Sorry, looking for my D6s.
It's a square one.
Yeah.
I can send you one if you need it.
No. 18 radiant damage.
Wow.
Wow!
Radiant? From the level...
From a level 2 ranger shooting Guiding Bolt. That's
Okay.
weird. And it's going to glow with a sort of a blue luminescent light, and the next attack on it will have advantage.
Right. Okay. Okay, so as the energy hits the creature, almost thrusting it forward a little bit, it begins to glow with this blue luminescence that stands out among the trees that it's getting within. Anything else from Nihilus?
No, he'll just make sure that he's kind of next to Nim.
Okay, so what happens is, it's the troll's turn at this point. Nim is not within 5 feet at the moment, and neither is anybody else. And so there's no opportunity attack as it continues to bound forward, moving through the trees and over a rock. You can see that you enter an area, or where he enters an area, it's darkness now. So any of you that don't have dark vision,
There's a blue glow on him.
I know, but as far as just movement's concerned, is gonna be at difficult terrain. So he's kind of disappeared in the darkness to some of you, behind something. To those who have dark vision, you can see that it looks like an overturned cart. There are rocks all around. There's something glowing, and you can smell at this point like something as if it's cooking. It's not a pleasant smell so much, but it smells more of a cook fire type flame. And you see this slight glow within a slightly obscured area off to the left among some rocks as well. And he jumps behind what some of you realize is a cart and thrusts up the figure once more and shakes it wildly, almost in this pantomime effect of a puppet, and speaks once more. Smells like Merlin, not Merlin. As it just kind of glances over the top of it, and you can hear the anger in his voice and frustration. And I'm going to bring out a map. So while I'm doing that, we're going to go and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have maps so you can see what's going on and how we're going to, presumably, and deal with this threat. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are on the battle map now as the group is pursuing the troll into the forested rocky area, and the troll has now bounded behind an overturned wagon. It is dark, and so those without dark vision will have some difficulty moving through this terrain, and it's held up its gruesome prize, the female from the cart in the road, and is holding it over the cart it's hiding behind now, just kind of shaking it and screeching about something about Merlin. Merlin smells like Merlin, not Merlin, and shakes it angrily. And that's going to bring up Hildy in the turn order.
I understand it is dark, but this thing is glowing from Nihilus' spell.
It is, but it's behind the cart, and so you can't really see the glow of the figure itself since he's behind the cart, and he's holding up the dead body of the woman behind the cart.
Then I'm going to hold my action as I stop my horse and say, "Be careful, Sticks. He might have friends back there."
Okay. Hold your action in case he pops out.
In case he pops out, I am going to use a discipline and force bolt him again.
Okay. All right. Did you want to move any further than where you are now? You're
No.
right now
I'm at
currently 60 feet away. Yep.
That's close enough to a troll for me.
Okay. Joel, you are now, it's your turn, and you are now 120 feet away from the troll as he moved 60 feet on his turn into the wood area. Now, do you have dark vision?
I do not. I'm a human.
Okay, so then you are only seeing, as you're getting into the forest now a little bit, it's not heavily forested, so there's some light coming in from the moon and the stars and so this ambient light, but it's still dark, and so you're moving at disadvantage, or as if difficult terrain, and your vision is only about 30 feet without the aid of light.
For once, I don't want to put light on. I don't want to be a target. I'm just going to follow the others
Okay.
at just a difficult terrain speed.
Now you're on your horse, so you can actually, even at difficult terrain, a horse moves 60 feet regularly, so 30 feet slowly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move toward Hildy, but I don't want to surpass her.
We might need your light now.
Well, we'll see what happens. So now I'm getting closer. Can I take an action or just the movement?
No, you can. If you're just moving 30 feet on your horse, then you have an action available.
So I still don't know what's going on. I mean, it seems pretty likely that the troll is doing some really bad things, but no guarantees. I'm going to call out and I'm going to try to persuade it. What's going on? Can you tell us? Maybe we can help you find Merlin.
Okay, so you're shooting at the creature
With thaumaturgy.
with thaumaturgy.
Well, it makes it louder.
Just a booming voice. Okay, got it. All right.
Because I assume with the distance of the trees, it wouldn't hear me normally.
Yeah, so you're moving at 30 feet on your horse. You're about 90 feet away from the troll, which is 10 feet behind Hildy. And you yell out to it. In what language are you yelling out to it?
Well, seeing as I normally speak Common, it won't even occur to me. I'm just going to try it in Common. And presumably, it was speaking Common when it was talking about Merlin as
Now,
well.
that's one thing you know about this world is that when you are looking at something speak to you, no matter what language it's speaking, because of the Tower of Tongues, the Atlanteans built in the far to the east, that anything that speaks to you, unless it's a mystical language, you understand it. Now, if they just shout or say something, or just ambient speaking voices around you, you don't know what they're saying unless you're focused on that individual. So,
Well, given that, and given that I am staring, or at least trying to communicate with that creature, I will go with common and
Okay.
see how he responds.
okay,
Or she, or it.
They.
Yeah.
all right. So
So
what do you
roll
got
in.
out exactly?
Who is Merlin? Maybe we can help you.
Okay. The only response you get is kind of a growling at this point. And it may respond in some other way on its turn. We'll see. Anything else from Jolo?
No.
Sticks? So Sticks, you're right
How
up there
far-
with Hildy, which puts you 80 feet away from the troll.
How far ahead is that tree that's in front of me? That tree and that first group of rocks.
Well, let's
About
take a look.
60. It looks about 20 feet from the troll.
So 60 though.
Well, where the figures are right now are a little bit off. So the first tree, if you're trying to get up there, is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 from the troll minus, 80 minus the 25. So was that 55
Yep.
feet away?
Alright, I guess I will. It's difficult terrain because it's dark.
Yes, unless you either have a light source or dark vision.
I guess I will move up
Is a
30
bonus
feet
action?
with my dash.
It's a bonus action using my held action?
No, that's your actual action.
A bonus action is my actual action?
No, your action, holding an action is your action.
I'm going to use my bonus action and pop my light on.
Okay, so, but you'll have to do that on your turn. Because it's not a reaction. So you're
Yeah,
running-
bonus actions and movements have to be on your turn.
Right.
And then an action can be held.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so, sorry, Sticks, you were running up all the way 55 feet?
Well, I'm gonna use my movement to run up 15 feet. So that'll give me 15 feet closer.
Okay,
And then I guess I will. Bonus action dash and then see where I am.
okay, dash
I'm
the
gonna-
full, another 15?
Yeah, so it'll be 30. So
Okay,
it should get me near those trees, that tree.
yeah, so another 15, what was it, get you down to 50 feet away from the, and what did I say that was, 55 feet away?
The tree was 55 feet away from us.
Okay, so then that would put him 50 feet away from the troll, so that should put him right there behind the tree, I think.
So someone can move me there just so I see. Okay. That's
Yeah,
too close.
and-
Or is that where I am? Right there?
yeah, right there next to the tree.
Oh, then I will use.
And the troll is right here behind the overturned cart. You can see a bit of the glow above the top of the cart, and it kind of silhouettes the figure, the female human that he's holding up and shaking and using kind of like a puppet. In this really strange, odd ritual of speaking, and so you know he's there, but you can't see him directly.
So what I'm going to do is I use my action to run. I'm going to use my bonus action to hide. So I use my action to dash. I'm going to hide behind the tree right there.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth.
Bonus 14.
Okay. All right. I mean, given the light conditions and the fact that he doesn't appear to have direct eyes on you right now, you feel like you're hidden.
And that's it.
Okay, so we're at the top of the round. Nim, I got you at you were
90 feet.
90 feet at this point. On your horse.
Okay. Nim is going to turn to Nihilus and say, let's get this thing before it hurts anyone else. And she is going to dismount, grab the sword she dropped, and she's going to use her action and her movement to get 60 feet ahead, straight towards the troll.
Okay, now she has dark vision, so she can move the full 60. That's going to put her 30 feet away from the troll. And so you can move her all the way. You want to be right, as direct as possible.
Correct.
Great.
Yeah, so 30 feet away from the troll is going to put her right up close and personal. But on the other side of the card, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so. Yeah, she's going to be back a little bit, but close. Now, from your perspective, Nim, just so you're aware of what you're facing here, in this area is pretty clear. But then as you get up here to where the crates and the card itself are, again, you can see the blue glow of the creature and maybe a little bit of him between the trees and the card itself. But for the most part, it's going to be, it looks like he's barricaded back there pretty well. Okay, anything else, Nim?
No,
Okay, let's go bring up
Not
Nyla.
this round.
Okay, so on the horse, I don't have dark vision, so difficult terrain, I can move 30 feet.
Right.
So I'll just run up 30 feet. I think I'll still be too far away from Nim, but
Yeah, you'd be about 70 feet away from the troll.
okay, I'll still go up my 30 feet. And then, is there anything that I can target on the troll? Does he have cover? Is it like, can I try to shoot his arm?
Not from where you are. Nim can see it because she's so close. But from where you are, you're just too many trees or just too many boulders, and the card itself. That no. Unless you have an
I'll
area
use my
and like an area effect type of
no.
yeah.
I will use my action to dash with the horse, so another 30 feet towards Nim.
Okay.
You need 60 feet with the horse?
Yeah, it's gonna bring you.
Well, I don't have dark vision, so it's difficult terrain.
Neither does the horse.
Sorry.
I thought I paid for a dark vision horse.
You need to go talk to Francisco.
Damn.
Francisco did not give you one.
So it's going to put you 40 feet away from the troll, or where you know the troll to be, on your horse.
That's fine. So I'm right behind Nim still, ish.
Yeah, you're still a bit behind her, but yeah, you're. Now again, at this point, you're mounted, so you have a little bit of an elevation advantage.
Make them glow blue.
Yeah, so at this point, you'll be able to see a part of the troll, just kind of like a slim area of the troll, kind of moving between the tree and the cart.
That's all right. I can't do anything anyways, so I will.
Yeah, just so
Yeah, my
you're
turn.
in your next round, if he's still there, you have a little bit of a view of him.
That's
Okay.
it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. So at this point, the troll, who is kind of peeking through, looking at Nem, looking at you, Nihilus, still, as his head kind of bobs out, you can see its red glowing eyes. Nem, you probably see this better than Nihilus, since you have dark vision. Its gaze seems to be focused beyond you, once again. Beyond you, beyond Nihilus, somewhere further. And it is moving as if you can't quite get the angle on what it's looking at. It's still holding up, the ragdoll human, basically bloodied from being torn apart by the creature earlier, obviously, as it shakes it once more, and it just kind of growls through the small little opening at Nim and Nihilus.
Nim just assumed it was running away from Jola's stench still.
It said
Well,
it
this thing
smelled,
doesn't smell that great
said
either.
it smelled like marlin.
Yeah, I mean, this you put Nihilus. I mean, you put Jolo and Troll side by side. It's pretty close contest as to which one smells worse.
As this is all happening, Jolo in his mind is thinking for some reason, a little friendly ribbing means that they like you. Smells like success to me.
Team spirit. Okay, so it once again shakes the doll or the human that is treating like a doll, trying to gaze past you, get an angle on whatever it is it's just trying to look at beyond. Merlin. Smells like Merlin. You had shouted something earlier,
I did.
and just remind me what it was specifically, how you said it.
The exact words, who is Merlin? Maybe we can help
Okay,
you.
yeah, so it was pretty generic. You don't get the impression that it responds directly to you, and quite frankly, because you can't see it, only the fact that you've heard it use the same, tonal, distinct pattern of words before, do you kind of get the idea that it's saying basically the same thing. And of course, Nim and Nihilus can see its lips moving, in the darkness, but it seems to be getting even more and more agitated as it grips forcefully the human figure, and you watch as its ribs begin to pop through its clothing. This one looked like she had her abdomen like ripped out. Previously, the man that you had found looked like he'd been just totally torn open and just his innards scraped out. But this one, her chest was still intact, and you watch as those that can see, her ribs begin to forcefully just kind of pop through the fabric of her clothing. She's not reacting. Clearly, she would if she were alive, or even unconscious. You're not hearing anything from her, any those of you that are close enough to hear. But just blood continues to flow where the ribs have come through. And it kind of retracts back behind the cart a little bit and out of sight, although you can still see the glow effect. How long does that last?
I think just until the next attack.
So this is the end of this round?
No one's attacked it yet, though.
It just says the next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage. There we go. The end of my next turn.
So either an attack or the end of this turn. Okay, Hildy, you're up.
Okay. Hildy's gonna go full flashlight with her Tuatha De luminescence, which creates a 20-foot radiance bright green light and 10-foot dim beyond that.
Okay.
She's going to,
So anybody within 30 feet of you, it's like,
now that she can see well, she's gonna move up there with Nim and Nihilus.
so she won't have to move at typical terrain. She can
Right.
move normally. And she's still mounted?
She is.
Okay.
Now since she's mounted, can she see this thing now?
It has retracted fully behind the cart. So out of sight of Nim and Nihilus and now you. You
Okay.
can still see the glow, it's there.
I am going to,
Now the one target you
Nobody
do
sees
have
six.
is the body of the woman that it's holding.
well, the other target I have is the cart that it's hiding behind. And I
Fair
am
enough.
going to project my anger because I'm so upset it's hiding and killing.
Is that the force bolt?
Hit it.
Okay.
14.
That hits the cart. The cart's easy to hit. Big, not moving, no dexterity, just sitting there. Roll your damage.
1
Okay.
1 point of damage.
So you see the cart just kind of go, and then kind of right itself real quick. A little bit of a splintering of the wood, but nothing significant. Although you maybe you feel good about it. That's up to you.
I feel a little better.
You can distress furniture if this thing doesn't work out for you.
There you
These
go.
other dice were in the way.
So anything else, Lily?
Get him, guys!
All right, so you're right up there. Jolo, what are you doing?
I've been inspired by all this,
You can also see
So-
now.
and I can see. I tried
Well, you can
the.
see where they are, but there's a lot of distance between you and them. So if you get within 30 feet of Hildy, you can see pretty clearly.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious. I tried convincing her earlier that I was a Tuatha Dé by lighting up. Does she look like a cleric to me, or can I tell that she's a Tuatha Dé?
Well, she most certainly, I'm sure the first time you met her, you
When she lights up like that, is it obvious that she's not a light cleric to me?
I mean, you can make that assumption, I guess.
You might think she is.
I mean, that's up to you.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the symbol yet anyway. I'm going to move up as far as I can on my horse, which would be
It's difficult terrain until you get to her is 30
30 feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you are currently way behind everybody else. I think you're like 40 feet plus the distance to the troll.
Just call
I
it.
think you're like 100 feet away.
Just call it an even like 2 miles.
Yeah, so you're like 100 feet away. So you can get up to 70 with your
action.
move,
And then a bonus action?
and then with your action you can move another 30 if you want. So you
Yes,
can get
I think I'll do that.
Okay, so that'll bring you within 40 feet of the troll, so you can put yourself up within 40 feet of the troll.
Mile and a half.
Which would be, tell me when to stop.
Well, each one of those squares is 5 feet, so 40 feet from the troll. And now I can stop counting feet, so you're all like up there close enough.
Okay.
Okay.
And now I can see the light. I can see the light.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're within 30 feet of Hildy, you can see everything within that radius of her. But outside of that, it's still dark.
I like your style.
Keep it going.
And that's going to bring sticks.
So I know the trolls behind the cart.
Right.
Is the light making the troll visible?
No,
I know.
not at all. I mean, it's behind the cart, and the glow that's surrounding it still, or up until the end of your round, or the end of the round, the end of the turn, right, Nihilus?
I think it died out because I cast it as it was running into the woods, and then my next turn I ran up towards it, and I think that would have been the end of the.
Okay, well, it's fairly
advantage.
irrelevant anyway. It's behind the cart. So yeah, I mean, no, it's not visible directly from where you are now unless you move to a point
Okay.
around the cart.
And then my other question is, I'm assuming everything's still wet from the rain.
It's fairly damp, yeah, but you can still smell. You can smell the smoke just there off to your left, and you can see the slight glow through the darkness of something apparently cooking, not too far away.
I was going to try to light the wagon on fire, but
Oh, well.
I'm going to move left 15 feet, shoot a firebolt at the troll, which I should be able to see then.
All right, well, let's
And
take a
then run
look.
back.
Move you left 15 feet, and I'll tell you what you can see. Left this way, right?
Yep.
Where is he? Right here.
Yep.
You got a shot. It's going to be a disadvantage. He's got a lot of. Or you know what? He's going to have cover, not a disadvantage. Wait, do you have dark vision?
No, that's why I was asking about Hildy's light.
Yeah, Hildy's light would not penetrate the cart. So he's still kind of in a shadowed area. He's no longer illuminated by Nihilus's ability.
All right, I'm gonna try for the shot.
Okay, so it's disadvantage plus plus cover. So give it a shot.
Oh, my lowest roll was a 16, which is plus firebolts plus 4, so a 20.
Wow. So yeah, you managed to hit him. What'd you hit him with?
That was a firebolt, streak of
Okay,
fire.
got it.
Ever notice how good they roll when they're not in the room with them?
I have noticed that.
Oh, you're gonna start rumors. Jeez.
7.
7 points of damage. Okay, so you watch as the illumination of the firebolt as it gets closer and closer and then impacts the creature, and you watch as it's looking in your direction as you come around the corner. Well, no, you're hidden. You were hidden, right? You were actually hidden. So, but you don't get sneak attack with a spell.
Yeah.
So that's not going to benefit you. However, it might have taken away disadvantage because.
Well, I rolled a 20 and a 16.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You got it. It looks fine
so that's good.
as you hit
Go
it.
ahead, start.
You said 7 points?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And then I will go back with the rest of my movement back to my spot and my bonus action hide again.
Okay. All right, so we can move him back to where he was and go ahead and roll your stealth.
I should have done 17. What did I do?
That is 12, 17.
Okay. Again, there's no direct, I mean, unless it's got a crack to peek through and it can, try and see you, you don't think that it has any direct line of sight. So you feel pretty confident you're hidden. Anything else, Sticks?
And before I hid, the party probably heard me mumble, "This is idiotic, this is idiotic, this is dumb, this is dumb."
I can guarantee there's at least 2 people that agree with you. Top of the round, we're up with them.
So when Hildy attacked the cart and did her huge 1 damage, is there a crack or anything in the cart that I can see the creature through?
He did say splintered wood.
Yeah, it just really splintered it. It didn't do any that kind of damage. The card itself, just passively, it does look kind of old and parts. It's just broke. You couldn't just turn it over and use it. It's broken down, and there are probably some small little, fissures and cracks here and there that you might see some shade of movement. But what are we going to try? Like thread an arrow through it?
Well,
That
sword.
would be really, really difficult. If you roll a natural 20, you can get it through there. Otherwise, you're dealing with some really heavy cover.
I'm 30 feet
shot.
away from it. I am going to run straight towards the cart and try and jump on top of it.
Okay. All right. So the cart is very close, and there's actually a crate right there in front of it.
Oh, so I'm not 30 feet away, I'm less.
What's that?
So I'm less than 30 feet away from it.
Yeah, you're 10 feet away from the first crate.
Okay,
And
so I'm
then-
going to run the 10 feet and then try and go over the cart.
Okay, so using the crate, if you want to use the crate to jump off of, you can. It's up to
Absolutely.
you. Is that your plan?
That's my plan.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask
But
you
in
to roll-
an athletics way and not an acrobatics way.
Either one, whichever one you want to do. Athletics or acrobatics, go ahead and roll.
Okay. Tom is 19 with
19.
athletics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check something. All right, so you did it with enough flair and finesse that this old rickety crate that you jumped on and then propelled yourself off of onto the top of the cart didn't crumble under you, and now you're standing on this cart that's swaying back and forth. Did you want to continue your motion over? Because you got a troll
continue my motion.
right in front of you.
With my sword up in the air, and I'm going to go strike down on the troll with my sword.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Natural 20, I promise.
Doing the triple
That's
salute,
4,
double sack out.
that's 5, 29.
And if you have the movement, you'll land on the other side of the troll. Otherwise, you're going to land on the troll. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. But go ahead and roll your damage.
Wait, I'm taking a photo first.
Well, so you guys are just, any of you that can actually see this are just in awe at this elf that just
It's
did a
7
very
damage,
over the.
but I also want to use a spell slot to put in
The smite?
smite, yes. Divine smite.
It was in the dark. None of us have dark vision, so nobody even saw that happen.
It's just at the edge of our stuff. Where
Yeah.
I thought I saw something, but I don't.
You kind of see the silhouette of Nim go flying over.
I tell Hildy it's a good thing she's following me.
15 points of damage.
15. Wow, nice.
Oh, sorry. And then what do I get with the 20?
Oh, with the 20, you double whatever you roll, and then add the modifiers.
Okay.
But you only have the
So
modifier.
do I also get double smite, I think, right?
Yes, it's the entire attack. So, but you only roll you only add your modifiers one time.
It's 25 points of damage.
Total?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's huge. 25. Wow. Okay. So as you go flipping over this thing and striking down with it, hitting it across its face, plunging your sword down into the top of its throat, deep into its lungs, and then retracting it as you flip over, about just lunge off its back, and then a 3-point land right behind it. And this thing is just howling with anger and pain. So wherever 30 feet brings her,
30 feet behind.
total, it was 15 to the crate, and then another 5 on top, and so 10 would put her adjacent to the troll at this point.
That's what we did.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. And now you're in its face. Okay, Nam, that was huge. Anything else? I think
That's all from
you
me.
used it all, didn't you?
No
Nice.
left.
How are you going to follow that up?
Nihilus is going to take his horse and just ride up to the crate. Well, I guess he can only go 15 feet with the normal speed.
Well, I think you're within
30 feet, because you're next to me.
Yeah, so, but you can only go so far.
Oh, I can go 30 feet is half the horse's movement.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, but no, you can go 60 feet because you're within the. I mean, as long as you're within.
Oh, I
30
gotcha,
feet,
because I can
but
see better.
It's going
Okay.
to take you out of that real quick.
Well, I'll go up to that crate, still mounted.
Okay.
And then you said earlier, because of the elevation, I could kind of see the troll?
When he was between the cart and the tree, he's not there now. So he's
So if I
fully
move
behind
up
the he's
on
fully behind
horse-
the cart at this point. So
If I move up on horseback next to that crate, I won't be able to see it.
no, because you can't get your horse closer than. I mean, you're like pushing just to get between the rock and. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, it's still going to be difficult terrain. So that's 10, 20, 5. You can move up 25 feet, and then you'll be right at the crate, which is 5 feet in front of the cart, and then the cart is between you and the troll.
But I can't see the troll?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Because he's crouched down behind it. You got to remember that he's crouched down. He was holding that woman up over the top of it, and now he just got stabbed in the face by Nim.
A lot.
All right. Then I will hold my action to shoot, make a ranged weapon attack if I can see any part of him.
Okay. All right, and that's going to bring up the troll. Nim, you watch as some portion of this terrible wound that you inflicted on him begins to heal up a little bit, but not entirely. I mean, you inflicted a lot of damage, and apparently beyond the limits of his immediate nature of healing. Which you learned something about trolls. Apparently they can regenerate. But now his focus is on you.
I did. The divine smite does radiant damage if it makes any difference.
Okay. Yeah, his focus is fully on you, and you watch as he just drops the corpse that he was holding, and his gaze just dead sets on you, and he makes an attack. He's coming forward with these two great arms that he's trying to claw at you with, and then thrusting forward with a massive bite. As he just growls, and you want to see the pussy greenish red blood just still spilling from his mouth, and the neck injury that he sustained despite the little bit of healing that he got. And you still have the Shield of Faith, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let's see what he rolls. So, the 2 claws. With 1 claw, I believe he hit you with a 22.
Does what Midas gave me add to that as well, or not? No.
That's,
Okay.
I think it's gone, right?
22 probably.
As long as she's within 30 feet of me, she gets it, but it doesn't help armor class.
Oh.
Okay.
And then a 13, and then a 20. So did the 22 hit with the claw?
Yes.
And
I'm
20 with the
21.
bite? Did the bite hit with the 20?
My AC is 21, so.
Oh,
no.
okay, all right. With the Shield of Faith, then that manages to turn away the bite as his massive maw comes forward, attempting with these huge, like tusk-like teeth coming out of its mouth, attempting to bite onto you. It's when it opens its mouth, it could easily consume your entire head if it could just get a hold of it. But with the 1 claw, the damage that it does, not terrible, but 4 points of piercing damage. Sorry, did I say 4? 10 points of piercing damage. Jesus.
I like the 4 better.
I know, it's like,
Me too.
sorry. 10 points of piercing damage as it does finally, get a hit. And its rage extending through that 1 claw,
Don't let that thing hit
attacking you.
It can't. Not that far away.
And that's it for him as he missed, and he's not moving anywhere. He's just dealing with you. It's going to bring up Hildy. Hildy, from where you are, you can't see the thing. You know it's back there. You can hear what's going on.
Okay.
You might have heard Hildy and then scream a little bit.
But I have bright light, so 5, 10, 25, 30, 35,
Going around? Okay.
40, 45, 50. So I'm going to go around, and that puts him in my dim light so I can see.
Okay. All right. And what are you doing?
I'm really, really mad that he hurt my friend, and this force bolt's gonna work one day. Today might be that day.
All right. He's got a little bit of cover, but you can at least see him well enough to target him.
Yes, 19.
19. You barely hit as a force bolt smashes into the side of the creature.
9 points of damage.
Okay. So this kind of takes it by surprise, as it is fully focused on Nem and then gets hit by this forceful attack.
Leave
On
her
its side.
alone!
He just growls in anger. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, gonna bring up Jolo.
Yeah. I guess I should move to where the action is. So it's still dark where I am, I assume.
Yeah,
5,
until
10.
you're within, what, 30 feet?
Okay, so I can get here, 30 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm still on my horse, so
Okay.
bring him to. Can I see the monster at this point? The troll?
Doesn't look like you have line of sight there. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, you got the cart between you and it. It's over here.
Does his horse's range improve when
It does. It does. Once you get there, it was difficult terrain up to this point.
Well, that was, if that was 30, that was full for his difficulty.
Yeah,
Unless I
this
want
whole-
to
so you
take
would have
movement as
to,
my action.
you would have to use your action to go any further.
Might as well, because I can't really do anything from back there. So I'm just going to continue on.
It's not like you do anything anyway.
I did quite a bit, and now I have line of sight, even though I can't do anything.
You're looking at it in dimness and dim light, but you are within the light that she is projecting. So you're in good company there, at least in that respect.
So as Nim said previously, I've done enough.
Help her.
How? I've used up all my actions at this point.
The creature can see you now, just by the way.
I think his attention is focused elsewhere, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so that's going to bring up Styx.
I think she was trolling me.
He was trolling you?
Yes.
All right, Styx, what are you going to do?
Assuming 6 can he make it there by running? By just his basic movement? I can't tell. I don't know if I can go over these rocks that are right in front of me or what.
You can, but again, they're difficult terrain to go over the rocks, so you can make claw your way over them.
So once again, would I be able to get to him?
Well,
If I do 10 feet
you're
there,
within
5.
Hildy's range, right, for the light. So
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can move normally until you're out of the range of her light.
All right, then I'll get right up to him if I can.
Okay. So with difficult terrain, going over the rocks is going to move. Well, I don't see him really going over any rocks,
Right there.
unless.
Well, if I go over the rocks, then I save a lot of movement going all the way around.
Okay, so
right?
10, 15, 20. Yeah, you can get right up to him with 30 feet of movement.
Then I will do that. I will, as I strike him with my rapier, I will cast Booming Blade on it.
Oh, you presume so much.
Now, because I'm coming hiding, do I get advantage?
Well, you're not attacking from a hidden position, are you? I mean, you're moving and then attacking. I think you have to attack from a hidden position. So.
And you're in light.
Yeah,
What's the point of hide then?
You're coming out of a
you got a
spotlight.
floodlight behind you, so called Hildy.
All right, so just a regular attack.
Yeah, it's just a regular attack. You can see it well enough.
Nice. 19 plus my melee, so 24.
24 hits.
And I get my backstab, which is.
Yep, you got Hildy or Nim right next to you there.
So 11 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, so another deep wound as it growls in pain. You've got its attention as it swings its head over. Its large red evil eyes staring down at you hungrily, angrily.
If I'm 5 feet within of it, don't you get sneak attack?
He did.
I got it.
Oh, did you get sneak attack? Sorry, I missed that.
He called it backstab.
Can you call it the right thing, please?
I'll call it what I wish. I'm the rogue.
Nim, right around
What are you doing?
What are you
Sorry.
gonna do, Nim?
I'm gonna risk the opportunity attack.
Oh, you are.
And use my bonus action. What?
You're gonna run.
I'm gonna risk the opportunity attack. Use
Okay.
my bonus action to, I guess, dash away and just dash away 10 feet.
Good news for you. You rolled an 11, so I doubt that's gonna hit you.
Great.
Yeah, that's gonna miss. So you're able to get away.
Yeah, I guess just moving 10 feet away from him.
Okay, so basically you're in a very narrow alley between the trees and the cart, so you're just backing up 10 feet basically. And that's going to bring them.
Can I just move 5 feet to my right?
Nope.
And sort of get behind a little cover behind the wagon?
Well, do you have the movement?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, if you have the movement, yeah. So if
Yeah, so
you
just
can move
move-
further 5 to give him some cover.
Other way.
Okay.
No, he said behind the wagon.
Oh, behind
Oh,
the
the other way,
wagon.
yeah. So yeah, as long as you have the movement, you can get over there. It's not a problem. So Nim,
Real quick, I'm grasping at straws, sorry, but for my held action, you said he was crouching before, but then he got up to attack Nim. Would I have had a shot as he was attacking her?
you're 10 feet in front of the cart, and he is behind the cart, and you don't have dark vision.
Nope.
Hildy's got him vaguely illuminated right now. He's gonna have a lot of cover, but if you want to take a shot, you probably just see like the top of his head, but it's a big head.
I mean, he would have tried if he
Okay,
moved
go
at all
ahead and do
to go for
that
Nim.
if you want to. You shooting an arrow? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the top of his head is all wet.
Hey, that was a nat 20.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Holy shit. Roll your damage. As you plant one right in the back of his head. This guy's taking it from all sides.
13.
13, okay. Alright, so with a great roar of anger at being hit once again from a direction he wasn't expecting. Nim, you're up.
Nim is going to swing back his sword and take another strike at
Okay.
the troll.
Go right ahead.
I can use your D4 now, right?
If
Oh, no,
we're
it's
within
gone.
30 feet of each other. If
Oh,
we're
yeah.
within 30 feet of each other, it's still there.
Is she?
Maybe.
I think she's close. I think she's around 25, right? Let's just count it real quick. We're gonna check Nim and see if you're within 30 feet of Nihilus.
Quick name, nat 20.
No,
Yeah, you are.
I'm on-
You are.
I'm on 14, so I need the D4.
Yeah, you got it.
Wrong one. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
4 points of damage.
Okay. All right,
And that's
nothing
it?
like the previous blow, but it all adds up, right?
I'll stay where I am.
Okay, you're holding your position. Nihilus is up. After that wondrous
Can I-
shot through the dark.
Can I, the same thing, can I still see him at the same?
Yeah, again, you're looking at the top of his head at this point, just kind of bobbing, over the height of the cart.
Can I do like a cool Legolas type move and jump off the horse onto one of those rocks to get a better vantage point of him?
Well, what you have right in front of you is a crate, the same one that Nim launched herself off of, and then to the right you have or to the left, you have here a rock that, yeah, you could potentially jump up on that rock. It's going to put you still 10 feet away from the troll, and the cart is kind of between the two of you, but not completely, but you still have like a tree and a cart in your way. So your shot's not
if
going to
he
be a whole
thinks-
lot better, really.
Yeah, he would still do it. If he thinks he can get any better of an angle on him, he would try.
So he's going to jump on top of the rock?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not a huge move, but go ahead and roll either an athletics or acrobatics as you jump off the horse and onto the top of the rock. Fuck, I just broke Nihilus.
Did you?
No!
His little arrow popped off.
Oh, yeah, it was just a matter of time.
I'll just I'll glue it back.
21 acrobatics.
Okay, yeah, easily. It wasn't that hard of a challenge. So, yeah, you managed to plop yourself right on top of the rock.
Well, now he's got no arrow thanks to the DM, but we'll pretend he has one.
Swing a bow.
Ooh, that was good. 25.
25 to hit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
rolled
you hit.
19 and a...
Once again, threading the arrow between the trees and the cart, sticking the thing in the back of the shoulder blade, facing them.
6 piercing.
Okay, 6 piercing. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. That's going to bring up the troll. Once again, Nem, you watch as some of its wounds partially heal, but nothing heals completely. It's still bleeding profusely at this point. Seems to be weakening quite a bit as he just... The body of the woman is at his feet, and it kind of seems now like it's trapped. And it's got the look of it's done its fight, now it's flight. And he's going to bound away from you in the direction of Styx. and Hildy and Jolo. So if you want to make an opportunity attack on it, you can.
4 plus 5, 9. I get another D4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to make it 12.
Well, no, you swing wide as it bounds away. And it seems to have some purpose in its particular track.
One thing, Ravik, my booming blade is still active, correct?
Your booming blade? Sorry, I didn't hear that you even... When did you cast the booming blade?
When he hit it with his rapier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, if you hit it, then it would be active.
Oh, 8.
How much?
8 on a D8.
Okay.
So the sound of thunder just rings from him as he moves.
And that kind of stuns everybody for a moment, including the creature as it moves forward between the trees and the cart. It just barrels right into you as you're right there. Although you're kind of at the edge of the cart, it's got to go through you to get out. And it's large enough that it can push you, but you're going to have to roll in athletics to see if you get pushed away and knocked over.
I'm going to use a luck point. And the second roll is a natural 20. For my athletics. So 25.
Okay. All right. A nat 20.
Does he just like hockey check the thing back onto the ground?
Yeah, so a nat 20 is going to beat a dirty 20. But what happens is that it's basically a strength check to see if he gets bowled over. He does not. Styx manages to stay on his feet, just kind of like maybe just kind of moves over and crouches a little bit as the thing just kind of goes over him, lunges over him, and finds its way 5, 10, 15, 20, right here.
Does Six get an opportunity attack since it moves through his...
Yeah, he would. He would. So if you want, you can go ahead and make an opportunity attack.
The troll's so cute.
19.
19 hits.
It's gonna get Jolo next.
No, it's stopping. It's good.
It's not
Only 4
right
points
where the horse
damage.
you're on.
I thought I'm right where my guy is. I'm where the horse is.
Are you on the horse?
Like, okay, I wasn't sure which one to center it on. Okay. Yeah, I am.
So it's 4 points of
Six,
damage.
what was the damage?
4.
4. Almost. Okay, so
Just curious, was anybody adjacent to him? Because I would get backstabbed, correct?
I am adjacent to
at the end of your move, at the end of his move, but now I mean you can move 5 feet more. You know, you can move the horse under you if you want, and he'll just move up further. So he's coming up all the way to your horse, wherever you are within one of those 5 foot squares. I don't think it matters because he's got the movement. When he gets to you, Jolo, I mean, his eyes are on you.
Hang on. I'm gonna be selfish for a second.
Okay?
Since we're actually centered on the horses, not our characters, did Hildy also get an opportunity attack?
You're on the horse, and so you see horses, he's adjacent to your horse. He hadn't left your
Right, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, no, that's only if he leaves your melee zone.
Got it.
Yeah, then would you get an opportunity attack. And he's going to attempt to grab you off that horse. So if you want to resist,
Can we help him?
then you can roll a athletics.
It doesn't seem like I'd not want to resist. So he's attacking me essentially.
So reaching out his huge claws toward you to grab you off your horse.
I believe
He's a follower.
I was trying to be a nice person. Can I use a warding flare against him?
The only thing that you can do right now is roll in athletics, unless you have a reaction. You still got to roll the athletics.
Okay, I'll roll the
Roll the
athletics.
athletic. Roll high.
Or roll low. Roll Jolo.
Oops.
That was stupid.
4.
You get real serious when the danger's in your face.
I do.
That was a big whopping 4. It's impossible for you to beat him with that, so he manages to grapple you with both hands and pulls you in.
Is he hugging me?
And as he grabs you, pulls you off your horse, brings you in close to his face. And you can see the blood just like pouring off him from all the different wounds that he sustained. And he sniffs you like the top of your head, the hairs. You just kind of like, just waiting for it. He just attempts to bite you.
I don't think I'm that tasty.
You smell like Merlin.
Do we cheer on the troll?
I
Give him
smell like
advantage or
horses.
something?
What's that?
We all just walk away now.
Needless to say, he hits, and you take 14 points of piercing damage from his bite, as these 2 huge incisors just kind of penetrate the top of your head. You feel the blood just flowing down your face, your scalp, where he penetrates and then pulls back angrily, holding you tightly. And this can end as...
I did ask if I could use warding flare.
Do you have a reaction? If warding flare is a reaction, which is not, then you can. But otherwise, you can use a reaction.
Is this a reaction? Reactions.
Yep.
Is it a reaction? Okay.
It does.
When you are attacked by a creature that can be blinded within 30 feet, which I assume I am.
You're within inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't think that was a reaction. So yes,
You can see,
Yep.
which you can because of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even without him, you'd be able to see. I mean, you're like in his face. So,
So
yes,
I can impose a disadvantage on the attack roll.
yes, you can.
Maybe he doesn't get you.
Well, actually, he was at advantage because you're grappled, and so that'd just be a straight roll, which he hits you anyway.
Oh.
But go
No,
ahead.
it wasn't. 14 points.
But aside from that, what does it do?
I can just impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay, all right. So there's no continued effect, like continued blindness or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so you have the extra added effect of a bright flash of light as he bites down on the top of your head. And
So we can all see it?
It's a much more dramatic moment than what,
That's the
perhaps
key
you
thing.
There's the light cleric.
Yeah, you bite him and he flashes with light.
Well, the good news is 14 wasn't enough to do this guy in, so there's
No,
that.
It wasn't, but there's always next round. Okay. So you guys, those you can see, Hildy, you just watch in shock as this thing bites the top of Jolo's head. He flashes with light, which is totally unexpected, kind of like a Care Bear, and then seemingly still alive, but grappled tightly by this creature that seems intent on biting his head off. What do you do?
You should help me. That'd be my advice.
He runs.
Sooner or later,
Quite.
this force bolt is going to work. I'm going to say, "Not my Jolo!" Nat 20,
Oh,
baby.
no kidding. Wow.
Sure, we've had a
Roll
lot.
your damage.
All right.
Twice and add your modifiers.
There are no modifiers. So just 8 points of damage.
8.
8.
The force hitting the creature, you watch as he just kind of spins around in his space, holding Jolo still tightly close to him. He seems almost woozy, as if he's about to just pass out, bleeding profusely all over his body from all the damage you guys have done to him over the past couple of rounds, and manages to stay on his feet as he just maintains his feet, doesn't go falling over, doesn't die as you might hope that he would. And that's going to bring, unless you got anything else, Hildy, it's going to bring him Jolo.
Do.
Okay.
I'm gonna take motion and run a horse over him.
You're going to attempt to trample him with the horse?
Yeah. I have animal handling. I don't know how you trample somebody, but
You walk over them.
And you've got a fat horse, so it's an advantage.
in a fat horse, so it's at advantage.
Basically, the thing is that the horse and the troll are essentially the same size. So the best that you can really hope for is to shove him or push him.
Okay.
Couldn't you trample on his feet?
But to do so, I think that would be an action, and you've already used an action. So
I
if you're
think
moving,
the only command you can give the horse is like to move, I think, or to dodge or dash.
yeah,
All right, then. I won't.
but you can move.
No, because then the troll will be close enough to hurt me.
Okay, I mean it's not preventing you from moving. It's just
Well, I don't want him to be attacked.
okay. Jello, Hildy's clearly distraught at what has happened to your hair.
Not my hair.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, my outfit was one thing and, crushing almost all the life out of me, but my
You're just
hair?
falling apart, man. I mean, you're just going
It's my
apart,
moneymaker.
top to bottom. What are you gonna do? This guy's got you firmly held.
The good news is my pink outfit is hiding all the blood flowing out of my body at this point, I'm assuming.
It's just absorbing it.
This guy is causing me nothing but headaches. He's really...
Yes, he is.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He abused my trust, so of course that's the worst thing you could do. I'm going to go back to my old standby and toll the dead.
Okay. So tolling the dead, is it simply a verbal command, or is there any somatic?
I point at one creature.
You point at one creature. You're only grappled, and so that's only affecting your movement. So I think that's fine. So go ahead and I have to make a save, a wisdom.
Wisdom
save, correct?
13.
Okay.
I'm hoping this guy's not intelligent since
A
he's...
wise troll.
Trolls are so.
If he attacked me, he can't be that wise. He is that wise. Nat 20.
Wow. This is incredible. He rolled a 0. He rolled a 0.
Strange dice you have.
From 0 to this hero. All right.
Oh my god. He couldn't have rolled any lower. So,
These are going to be some nice bells. I can feel it.
roll your damage. He is injured.
This is like a D12. 1D12.
So we had the boom of thunder, and now we're getting the roll of bells.
Good luck.
And this is how AC/DC started.
10.
10 points of damage. And that does it. As you feel the
Nice.
grip loosen, you drop to the ground, taking 28 points of damage. No,
What?
no. You drop to the ground, feeling relieved that he's let you go, and you watch this massive creature just fall slowly backwards and onto the ground, quivering for just a moment before he goes still.
Does the creature take Jonah's wig with him as he goes?
It's not a wig.
Now, yeah, it's scalped. He's got like, it looks like me now. This is Joel. So it's gone.
First of all, Jola doesn't have a beard.
I'm just talking about the top.
Okay. He took a little off the top. He's not my barber.
Took a little at the top. Fortunately, he just penetrated you. And didn't-
Wait, that's even worse.
I'm going to quickly jump off my horse and grab my frail little butt,
No.
We're no longer in initiative, so
heal him. 10 points.
as you
Oh, thank you.
fall into Hildy's arms,
Come
Okay,
back, Rolo!
I need
Come
to-
back to the light!
Joel's doing shots. Calgon, take me.
10 points, you say?
Mike thinks back to when he used to play D&D. Might Hildy know what to do with trolls after you chop them up?
Well, Hildy, yeah, I mean, she has a pretty fair idea, considering that she knows what trolls are and she actually interacted with them at some point. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Quick, burn it! You have to burn it or it'll come back!
Sticks
It will heal itself!
will walk over to it and just slowly push his rapier into the troll and say, bring heat in here. I'm going to pull the sword out. And then I'll start looking for patches or anything on it.
Okay. Your volume's a little bit low there, DJ. So I'm not sure if there's anything you do to bring yourself back up or not. So what I got out of that is that you're going to investigate its corpse while they prepare to burn it. Okay, so he's rushing over to the body to investigate the corpse. You have just healed Jolo for 10 points. Nihilus and Nem, what are you guys doing?
I'm keeping my sword.
Nihilus
So
is going to use.
You're doing what with your sword? Oh, cleaning your sword.
She's
Okay.
I'm
cleaning it.
cleaning my sword,
Okay.
yes.
Nihilus is going to use Druidcraft and create a small campfire on top of the troll. Would that work?
I mean, you can attempt to do that, yeah. I mean, you can put it in its space. And so as you... And it does, it says how much damage it does. For
It doesn't. It's a cantrip. It says I can instantly light a small campfire.
Okay, so you're going to try and instantly light its body, its corpse? Because a campfire assumes that you have, like, wood.
Yeah, if that doesn't work, then he'll just walk over to it and start getting his tinder box out to create a flame.
wagon.
I've got some oil if you want.
I was searching it.
Right.
We don't care.
I know.
Right, so this is what's all happening at the same time as everybody's kind of, healing and all of that. So as you said you're pulling off wood and such, Nihilus? For the
Yeah, he would try to pull some planks off the cart and then
Okay, so that's what you're doing in your...
make a bonfire around the troll.
What's your perception? I got it right here. For sticks, as you get over to the body and you start to search through it, roll an investigation.
I got 23.
23, okay. All right. It does have a pouch on it.
Oh,
And as you start to rifle through it, Joel is being healed. Nem is cleaning her sword. Nihilus is starting to rip up some boards, hearing Hildy scream, we gotta burn the thing. And as all that's happening, two claws, where it's lying on the ground, its eyes bright red, open, two claws come soaring forward, hitting you, and it lifts up off the ground, its maw coming at your face. All three attacks hit.
This was a lobster in its bag? Or?
Don't any of you have oil?
I did say I had no oil.
Yeah, you said that.
23,
cleaning your
23
sword.
points of damage to sticks.
Wait, do I get any? What's the attack? Is there a attack roll?
Sorry?
Isn't there a attack
Yes,
roll?
they were attack rolls. They all hit.
Well, I might use shield.
Sorry?
I might use shield.
Oh, yeah, then they all would hit your AC. So if you want to use shield, let me know. Is that your
Yep.
plan? Okay. Then that,
Use a shield.
all right, so when the claws come up, the shield manages to kind of deflect the attack, but it's not enough to stop the bite as it comes forward into your face. And you take, what was the...
23 total.
Yeah, 23, but I can't remember what that specific one was. 9 points of damage from the bite. And that's where we will pick up next week. As we are going to go into initiative again with a troll that is not quite dead. And the good news is, Styx has perhaps something interesting and formidable in his grasp that's worth fighting for. We shall see.
I was going to say, did I get the pouch?
You got it in your hands, but your face is in his mouth, so
It
we'll
does
see.
like biting faces.
I've been there.
We'll
Been
see
there.
who Let's go first.
Really easy to take the pouch off sticks right now, right?
I don't know. He's got like a death grip on it, man. I mean, he's got.
I am not letting go.
bone in his face. All right, good job, folks. You almost killed it. It's hopefully you get it next time, but we'll pick that up next week. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yay.
night.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Rebek.
Thank you. All right. Anything else before we get started?
I had really good soup tonight for dinner, but it gave me really bad heartburn.
Okay. You need a heartburn med?
No. Then I don't have anything to bitch about.
Oh, okay.
Gonna add to your character.
Can't have that. Okay.
That's fine.
So if Nim's going to do the same way, I'm going to leave Jonah out of it completely.
Go for him.
It'll be the last sentence. Oh, and Jolo came with us.
I think Jonah followed.
Literally. 20 feet behind.
You're muted, Nim. You're gonna make fun of me. At least let me hear it.
Dear diary, I spent most of my afternoon on the ground.
That's these damn people I'm traveling with.
Okay.
Do you want to open them all now, just in case?
So does anyone have, what's it called? Prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation?
Yeah.
Nope. And I was gonna get it when I get to level 3, but I have other cantrips I want.
Is it level 3?
Well, for me, I get my spells at 3.
It's a cantrip.
I'm looking at my spell list. I don't even see it in here as an option.
It's not a cleric
It's a
spell.
cleric spell, that's it. Yeah, it's not.
I think it was in the
It's
Bard
like
list.
wizard and
Bard,
wizard
yeah,
and bard and
Arcana.
maybe
Cleric's the,
sorcerer.
And I think that only would have worked before you literally integrated it into every cell of your clothing with horse water.
Can I call myself, like, Jolo the Stank or something?
I got that soap for you. 1 gold.
You're the one who has to smell it, though. Gotta get in mindset.
Did you go? We'll get back to it.
Pink stink.
The pink stink.
That should be my wrestler name. If I can get a mask, that's what I'm gonna call myself.
The pinker stinker.
Stinky Pinky.
They call me the Shocker.
The Stinky Pinky.
The stranger.
Wow. You and Hildy are getting a little close.
That was probably the plan all along.
I think this will keep her away.
I paid that thing to explode on him.
What?
Stop for a second. We have a camera issue real quick, so
It went behind the TV.
yeah.
I was just writing.
So